Hope all is well with you today. All set up. Came in a little bit early just so people can kind of jump in. I need to get myself into the chat so I can actually read the chat. So, welcome one and all. Looks like I'll find out my delay, what my delay is here in a second. There we go. All right. So it looks like we're up and running. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to shake the camera so much. So today is come on in and chat. Actually, let me drop the light down a little bit. You know, set the mood. There you go. Oh, that's a little bit more relaxing to the eyeballs, right? So, there you go. And now I'm just waiting for everyone to jump in. Because today, we're going to have an unboxing of sorts. Package is supposed to be here already, but you know, Amazon. Yeah. I had a device gifted to me from a friend of mine who is interested in what I'm doing and decided that it was time to not be stuck in the vertical all the time. And when it comes down to doing videos, the phone's good, I guess, but you know, hey, how's it going? Not a sponsor to you. What's going on? Today we're waiting for a package to arrive so I can unbox a new little toy that was kind of gifted to me. And it's because I've been doing most of my lives obviously on vertical, but at the same time, my videos I've been doing with the same device, the friggin' iPhone, which I don't mind it. It just doesn't have the crispiest of cameras on it. So, as someone who uses Adobe Premiere religiously, I'm basically, you know, excited for this little surprise. So, you know, Amazon, they take, you know, they say, oh, it'll be here between this time and this time, and then it comes back up this time and this time, this time and this time. Anyway, package will probably be handed to me during the live stream, so that's where we're gonna end up. That'll be the fun part. But everybody enjoys the chat, so when everybody floods in here, you can just relax and enjoy and chat, and you know, we've got to wait for the trolls. The trolls, we're troll fishing today, because you already know it's coming. So, yeah. You already know it's coming. They're waiting in the wings. It's funny to me, though, how I get the same trolls over and over again. Like, they subbed. Like, I can go in there and start stuff. Like, I'm turning the trolls. Now they're subscribers. I don't know. All right. So you can watch me on live. So, yeah, so basically I was gifted this little device and I can't wait for it to get here. I guess it was a belated birthday present. So, that's fine with me because, I mean, it's going to help me out greatly. And, I can't wait. You guys saw the last short of the 340 millimeter spin up to about 40% throttle. I have since secured it a bit more so that so I don't have any lateral movement. and we're going to see how much thrust it puts out. Ideally, I think I'm going to order some aluminum extrusion and get this thing on a slider and put some feed on the back of the casing, you know, just so I can kind of see how much it can lift. So I'll 3D print some carriages on the side for not only the heaviest batteries it's going to take, the ESC, the receiver, the whole 9 yards, and then other parts on the other side will have places where we can place weights as we go, and that'll kind of mimic some of the body work of the drone itself. And then this, of course, will be on the the aluminum extrusions. They'll be on rollers to keep the fan steady, and we'll basically be able to see how easy it is to get its weight and all of its, you know, batteries and everything else, and plus the extra added weight I plan on putting in there. And we'll see how easy it is for it to actually lift it off, and at what point on the throttle that it can hover, all that stuff. That's going to be some great data collection. And there is a website I'll be getting that stuff from. They wanted to sponsor me. So I won't mention them just yet, but once I get the stuff from them, then I will be doing a video on the construction of the aluminum extrusion rig. Basically our thrust tester rig. It'll go from the floor to as close as I can to the ceiling, and then that'll give us something for the motors to slide up and down on, so we can make adjustments, make changes, change voltages, that kind of stuff. So that'll be fun. We'll be able to record the amps that are in use. We'll know the RPMs, and we'll be able to record the thrust in weight, but sort of in a real-time environment. Not so much a static pull test as a physical lift test within a caged system. So I can verify the thrust from each motor and what it can handle as far as weight, and where it maintains a stable hover with the weight on it, and at what throttle position that is. And that'll give me an idea of how to design the body a bit better, so when I do go into designing the final body that holds these, we'll know exactly how to design it, and we'll go, okay, well, this is the weight we have to work with. Let's try to give it a 3-to-1 thrust to weight ratio. That's what we're going for. Oh, kind of, sort of, I guess. No, it's just my tobacco pipe, but welcome everyone. Welcome Ollie. Welcome Wellnut. Wellnut. Sorry, I'm half blind with this, you know, bifocal thing I'm trying to get used to. Thanks for stopping by. Today's about a chat. You can just chat about whatever you want to chat about. Plus, we're talking about some progression that I'm making in some of my projects, especially the 340 millimeter EDF drone. And that's not total dimensions of the drone. That's dimensions per fan. So each fan is 340 millimeters, and it's a 22 blade high pass configuration on every motor, with a 60 horsepower motor pushing each one, and it runs off lipos, pulling really low amps right now, so that's a good sign. At 40% throttle, I think I had 15 amps tops. So welcome all. I can't translate that right now, or I would. But yeah, basically that's what we're doing. We can chat about whatever you want to chat about, but basically I'm also getting a package today that's, like I said, it's a surprise to help me out in doing my filming, so I'm not stuck, what I'm told, I'm not stuck with just doing an iPhone video every time I want to do one, especially when I go out to film outside with this drone. From the Shrike V10 Maiden on the Shrike Concept Drone playlist, That was an iPhone recording. Wish I had a better cam for it. It does zoom, but you know, if you've got a good enough camera, you can do a lot of that in post before you put the video out. So, trying to get you guys some crispy video, you know, and I kind of think I know what it is, but I'm not entirely certain. And if it is what I think it is, we'll be able to see some really cool action because I'll have slow motion capabilities on it. And I think it'll work well. Nox VR. I don't know what you're wanting me to give you here. What mod are we referring to? Hey Diddy, how's it going? Welcome. We got Diddy in the party. Leave the baby oil at home. I don't have translate for the Russian or the Ukrainian, whatever it is. Hope I didn't insult you one way or the other. Try to translate it and then send the text. That way I can see what's going on. Because I have no idea. I'm just watching the chat, so I'm not able to actually translate any video or any text. You want some money to fight Russia? Well, ask Zelensky. We gave him billions already. I mean, what more do you want? Got them all. Hey. Thanks for translating that for me, Silver. Appreciate it. Yes, I have all my fingers. And that fan spun up to only 40% throttle on that last short, which was scary enough. Especially if you consider that I designed it to where those blades are all friction fit into the hub. And I did it with just the right tolerances for PETG, where I kind of had to tap it in with like a wooden mallet, but not hard, so you didn't have to hit it really hard. And then the back shaft, giggity, the plate on that goes against the back of the hub and keeps everything locked into the hub. So the blades were all printed individually. So like I'm trying to figure out at what RPM the PETG is gonna fail, and then the blades are gonna go flying everywhere. This is why I want to CNC so bad. What is our strength? Patience. Patience. Waiting for the right moment. And then sunrise at 3 a.m. for anybody who wants to mess around and find out. Oh gosh. You want me to write it out? Somebody, Silver, you're doing great. Tell them what I said. Thank you for that, Mr. Fleeing? I don't know how to say that. I assume you had an idea behind it, but I don't want to butcher the name. It looks like I'm going to have to hire one of you guys just to translate so we can keep going. Yeah. Oh, what advice? would you be, looking for? There, love bug. I'm not a magic 8 ball, but I'll do what I can. How do you tell your girlfriend's parents that you're dating? Well, if he was ex-military or law enforcement, go with body armor. Okay. It's a bit of an age difference, but she's almost an adult. I can't condone anything you guys do legally. But yeah, if I were you, I would introduce yourself with body armor, and I would show your field. This is ridiculous, because until she's an adult, you shouldn't be doing anything, a legal adult, unless she's been emancipated. Then it's another story. But in regard to your actual question about how you would approach the father, pretend you're in a minefield and step lightly. Because chances are, once he finds out how old you are, you're in it. You better be able to either defend yourself or explain yourself, because chances are, because I'll tell you right now, with 2 daughters of my own, 25-year-old comes up and says they're dating my daughter and they're 17. The first thing I'm going to do is introduce myself with an ass whooping. And then I'm going to ask you some serious questions. I'm going to say, what's your background? What's your education level? How much money do you make right now? What are your intentions? Well, we already know what your intentions are. You're young. So, do I want that for my daughter? That's all going to depend on what kind of person you are. It's going to depend on your personality. And my daughter had better be 18 before she decides to move forward with that relationship, because she'll be in just as much trouble as you. So if I were you, I would tread lightly, follow the law. Don't let some, garage attorney tell you something that's going to get you in trouble. Okay. It's ironic that we have Diddy here with us, and he asked that question. What's going on, Trooper? Glad you could make it. Yeah, dude, it's like, I'm gonna be honest. Hold on, wait. Another name I can't pronounce. Who do you like more, Putin or Trump? Well, it's like asking me if I like. As I say this lightly. Trump is my president. So that's where my loyalties lie. But as a soldier, we all know that when you follow a law, it has to be constitutional, regardless of who gives the order. So there's a place where there's a time and a place for specific orders, and there's a time and a place that you don't give specific orders. And that's all based on the morality of the person. Now, if you're going to ask me what the morality of Trump is, I couldn't tell you, other than the fact it's true morality, not the camera morality. I'm not saying he's a bad man, and I'm not saying Putin's a bad man. But I don't know them personally. So to answer that question, you have to go by politics. So what's Putin doing? He's sending Russians into a war that they are losing, by the way. And these are young men that aren't going to come home. And it's for what? For what? Ukraine? Look how big Russia is. What part of Ukraine is so important to you that you got to send young people to their death for no damn reason? Other than the fact that you want to assert your dominance over the region because you're afraid of the United States. You don't want to be surrounded. Well, you already are surrounded. So, I mean, look out your window and think if you're next to the coastline, about 2 miles out, you're not alone. We're with you. We're just down there under the water waiting for the word. So, I mean, we're not going to get involved in anything we don't have to. I think we should just stop funding any kind of war on any foreign soil that isn't ours until they decide to make it our war. And then, well, I feel sorry for all of you. Oh, sure, guess my age. I love when people try to guess my age. Unless you were in a previous stream and I don't remember, so don't try to fool me on that one. I am from California. The armpit of California. Oh, God. Hello, you were already here. Good guess. Right off the bat. Gee, I wonder. Hi, not just a duck. That's a great name. 53. 53. So I don't know how to take that. Do I look more mature at 53? Or do I take that as I look old to you? So there's two ways you can perceive me and answer that question. You're Iran, or you're in Iran, or you are Iran? Because Iran is a country. Well, I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Okay, see, then I like that guess of 53. Okay. Most people who come in, who are in their 20s or in their teens even, or whatever, whoever watches me, I mean, like, old man. Like, I got a troll that comes back toxic. Hope he comes in today. It's funny when you have trolls that come back to the same, they come back to you because, like, now they like the conversation. It's just great. Hello, Mars. How you doing? Singapore, welcome. John, how you doing? Yep. Long live the Republicans. Warplanes. What do you think about Iran? I don't have anything against Iran. It's just, it's like you keep out of my yard, I'll stay out of your yard. Bottom line. Trespassers are trespassers. I love everybody until they assault me and then fight on. No, I'm not 53. I'm 49. All right, let's see what's going on. I guess you could say I build war machines. If they were used in that fashion, but I mean, realistically, at this point, I'm just doing it as a hobby. Drone enthusiasts, UAV enthusiasts, that kind of thing. Hands-off flight kind of recon development. And personal conveyance. About the size of a quad, if you can imagine. But using very big EDF engines. Now, no, I'm not going to get on a quad that's made out of a 3D printed EDF engine, but it is a great way to prove the concept. Especially when you're spinning a 340 millimeter blade that's basically friction fit and has no glue in it. And it's just stable as a rock from that last short that I posted. If you check it out, you'll be able to see it. No, it's one of the things, and here's the thing. Farsi is hard. Okay? And they tried to teach it to us. And and I was like, I, I, I don't care what the guy's saying when I shoot at him, you know. Going back to my veteran days, you know. Went from Fort Benning, Fort Gordon, back to Fort Benning, and from there is a mystery that all shall have to try and figure out. And it will be a mystery to people. I'll tell you. I know. Thank you. This is another gift. Right here. Proud dad that didn't raise liberals. But yeah, it is. You have to ask yourself what programs in the military will require that you do not any longer have your original teeth, and you have no tattoos and no markings. That's pretty much all I can say. I just told you I don't know Farsi. Well, I forgot it. Any other questions? Besides the question I answered twice? Oh my goodness. Iran warplanes, let's see here. What do we got? I don't know Farsi. Keep it real. Do you Farsi? Are you? Yeah, there's a link in my channel page for Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, the Buy Me a Coffee link if you guys think the content's cool. Yeah, and I encourage you, if you're new here, to go check out the rest of my content, because I have a lot of fun experimenting with Fusion 360, designing drones, aircraft, that kind of thing. Like the jet that's behind me is all designed in Fusion, 3D printed, and that's a 90mm EDF. Everybody knows the Dill drone and how I crashed part of it, so I had to reprint a part of the Dill drone. We're gonna get that puppy back up and running, because that's a fun drone to fly. I'm sorry. Just seeing the reactions from people on the street. That's the fun part. If you guys want to see the rest of the Dill drone, you know, shout out with the 100%. If you all want to see the rest of the Dill drone and get an idea of what we're looking at, you want to see the Dill drone? Okay, hold on. All right, let's see. Ta-da! This is the Dill drone. This is the part that I broke because the low battery warning didn't go off like it was supposed to. It even says Dill drone. Brand name by DPC. Do you have a lonely woman in your life that's a town away? Send her a free gift at 130 miles per hour. Anyway, the point is, I'm reprinting the bottom part of this because the low battery warning didn't go off like it was supposed to. And by the time I figured out what was going on, it was too late to get it back over to me fast enough. So it kind of leaned in and just bit the asphalt. There's a video on it. It's one of the last run videos. So we're gonna get this basically reprinted. I got carbon fiber rod I'm gonna shore it up with, just to, you know, make sure it's a little bit more rigid when I'm flying around. Well, yeah, it's supposed to sound odd. It's not supposed to sound normal. What do people call socks? Underwear knickers. I have no idea. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that happens in England I can't figure out. What are your thoughts on the recent group of high-profile women that were launched into space? I think with all the helium that was in that capsule floating around in those heads, they didn't need any rocket fuel to get up there. Mm-hmm. Hello, Alex. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Oh, it looks like the mystery package has arrived. Wow, how much is there? Hold on. So, this is the, I assume, one of them. Okay. What's this?
I don't know.
What is all this stuff?
I think.
Hold on a moment, I have packages.
This is.
These are heavy. What is this?
I don't know.
Did you order this?
I didn't.
Okay, hold on. That's cool. Okay, that's good. That's good news. Right there. Hold on.
I'll put these in too. Okay.
Hold it down.
Okay.
Hold on, buddy. No garbage in here for you to chew on. Oh, this is a good sign. This is a good sign. This is a good sign. Out of it, Sam, but let's see what it is. Oh, I had a feeling. I had a feeling. I had a feeling. I had a feeling. Yes. And this I didn't expect. And another 7070 from Flipsky. Oh, we can already start building 2 motors now. As soon as I get another ESC. Oh, this is just like the motor that's running the fan right now. Yeah, 110 kV 7070 Flipsky motor. That is what I power these fans with. Hello, Pedro. Welcome. So yeah, that's definitely cool. Got another motor. What else do we have here? The Elanzi stick, I guess, for... Okay, there's more stuff here. Anything else in there? Okay. And that's gonna be for... Oh, this looks cool. This looks cool. Hold on, let me get the light above me on now. Why, that will help a little. Now, I'm not affiliated with any of these companies. This is the stuff that's sent to me by, you know, people who support what I'm doing. I do not know how to use this thing. I know there's a way to open it. I do open it. Okay, hold on. This is the extender, I think. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's see. Okay, mic is on. Okay. Let's see here. One second. It's actually let him know. I should have let him know that I was doing live. I had to tell him, you know. Okay, so I don't know. I assume this is the tripod. Okay, this is locked. This is unlocked. How do you open it? Just open it. Oh, okay. This comes. Oh, nice. Alright, and it extends, I guess? With this button, I assume? Or do I twist it? Or, I don't know how to do this. I know there's a release button here somewhere. We will figure that out. I want to open up the GoPro. This is cool though. It's like a stick and a tripod that extends as tall as I am, just about. That's cool. That's from a company called Ulanzi. That's cool. I'm betting you find that on Amazon. Again, I'm not affiliated with them, but I am going to show off their product as soon as I figure out how to use it. And then, of course, we have the GoPro. But the question is, which one? Okay, a 13 black with the zipper case. Nice. All right, let's get into this one. This is gonna make things a lot more fun for doing the filming, especially when I get those slow-mo shots when a fan explodes. Oh, look, we got a nice case. Nice zipper case. And oh, it has that with it too. And I probably won't like get into everything yet because I think I'm gonna have to go through like a lot of setup and all that other good stuff. That'll be another video, but we'll get the papers off and everything. Oh, come on. Cooperate, damn it. There we go. Oh yeah. Camera must be updated before you can use it. Well, I'll make sure I do that. Oh, that's cool. This is the detachable lenses, right? I think I can get like more lenses for it if I want to do some cool stuff. That's sweet. So yeah, we got the Hero Black in 13. So that we can do some good filming when we get outdoors with these drones. Especially, I wish I would have had something like this when I was filming the Strike, because that would have been really cool. Some surface stickers so the camera can mount onto it. We've got the clip, or another clip here. What do we got here? These must be the batteries. Yes. Let's put that clip there. I'm going to assume I have to charge all these up before I use it. That is awesome. Thanks for the like. I appreciate it. Yeah. Battery. Cool, I can hold another one in there too. And we'll hold like 3 or 4. And it looks like this one looks like it's for it's the one you get with for when you're in the water. The floating one, I think. Keeps the camera floating. That's cool. I'm building an Iron Man suit. No, but I guarantee the turbines I'm building will probably power one fairly well. I'm gonna fly like Iron Man. Eventually, I'm gonna. Let's get this out. Cardboard. Put the camera in there. Put that in there. Extra pieces. Charging cables. All the accoutrement that comes with your GoPro, all your warnings, all your labels, all your stickers. Yes. Okay, so we've got this really cool Ulanzi tripod. Ulanzi. And we have the GoPro Hero 13 Black. So that's going to be, is it Hero 13 Black or just 13 Black? I don't know. Anyway, the point is, this tripod you open up and they lock it. This is going to be something I'm going to have to. Oh, okay. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. Oh, that pops off. That's cool. Put the GoPro right on that. I'm gonna assume. Okay, it's locked in. This is unlocked. That's locked, so you know it's unlocked. Oh, whoa, okay. Holy crap. Let's open up the legs here. Giggity. What an easier way to do this. Buy dinner first or something? Oh, there we go. Just gotta find the button. Hey, that's pretty cool. Look at that. That's like... So that's full extension right there. Well, that's pretty cool. That's like above what you guys are seeing. That comes up to my chest. And I'm 6'4". So that's perfect. That's totally cool. Telescopic. Very stable. Stiff, not like cheap telescopics. And then you can close it up and lock it in place and use it just as a stick. Extend the stick if you want to. Or use it as a tripod. That's awesome. This whole kit's gonna be something I'm gonna be using. Yeah. Now we're talking. That's awesome. Okay, so that when I do the next video of spinning up that fan, this is what we're doing it with, right here. And I'll have, oh, that gives me an opportunity to have multiple angles. So I can use the phone to cover the amp meter and the voltage. And then I can have the GoPro over on the other side, facing down, closer to the ceiling because of how high it can go. And then set it up. I gotta go through the settings. There was a video I think online I can watch or something. There's always a video. It shows you how to go through the settings and to get the proper settings for the environment you're filming in and so on and so forth. So I gotta go do that kind of homework before I do that. And then we'll spin this fan up. Hopefully not to failure, but there's a chance that it's going to fail. And that's what we're here to find out. Because if I were to CNC everything, I set it up for CNC tolerances and was still able to get everything together, even through FDM printing. So, hey Laura Dots, welcome. Glad you're here. Dawson, you're back. You're always back. Jump in the first time, you're back. We know, Laura. We know. We're Christian here, or at least I am. I don't know how many other people are. Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? If I missed anybody, I apologize. Well, it's not a folding baton, but I guess it could be used as one. This is actually this is for the GoPro. So, yeah, but if somebody wants to get smart, you know. Nice. But that's Ulanzi. That's cool. That is really cool. And you can unclip these and take them off, and it looks like you can get your different attachments. Oh, it's magnetic too. That's cool. And locks right into place. That's good quality. Really good quality. Gonna go well with this. Hey, we're doing okay. I love the name. I love feet. And nothing will stop me. That's someone right there who's just, I don't give a damn. This is what I like. Come on. That's a great name, is it not? That's like an awesome name. Like, hey, that's what you're into. You're into it. You know, it's like, might as well wear it. That's what you're doing, man. You're wearing it. Probably wouldn't like my feet, though. I don't know what it is about my toenails. They grow into talons. Like, you know how some people, like, grow their nails out on purpose? And it looks just like some horrific nightmare of just, like, a vine growing up a wall, going every direction, you know? Mine don't. They grow out, they curl under, and then they come to a point. And if I don't cut them, I will have, like, talons this long on my toes. I should eat weed. It's better for me. This isn't weed, but I'll take that into consideration. Now I know someone who does do that. They put like a specific dosage in empty capsules, and they take it that way. But yeah, this is just tobacco, and I gotta put more in there. I always wondered if it was better for you to eat it. You know, I mean, I know they have edibles, but that's not flour. That's like the chemical from the flour, and then they put it in the edible, and it's like super strong. What's what, BMW? This is us chatting about whatever we want to chat about, to include some of the content of my channel, if thou art interested. And I just got a new toy today from someone who appreciates what I'm doing and wants to help me out with filming, so I got a GoPro Hero 13 Black they gave me, and this great Ulanzi tripod that's extendable. And I guess is a stick, considered a selfie stick? I don't know, I've never had one. I am a retired Army, Evan, and I am an engineer. So most of what I'm doing is based off of a passion for the RC hobby, as well as unmanned aerial flight and also personal conveyance, which is what I'm trying to get up to. I'm going to end up needing a CNC machine though for that, because luckily I designed the entire fan and everything around CNCing. And then just, you know, when it came down, so the tolerances are really good. 0.05. Really, it depends on the machine. I can change it. But it all depends on what machine I get and when I'm able to get it. But the idea is that I'm able to machine the fan in basically, you know, all aircraft grade aluminum, and then the actual bearing portion that goes into the stator hub, or the bearing stator hub. I won't have to use bearings off of like Amazon, which is what I've been doing. Basically, this whole thing is like an Amazon build. Creality ETG, bearings and everything. 7070 flip sky motor off of an off-road skateboard. That's how I built this thing. And if you go and see the very last short that I did, that's when I did a 40% throttle spin up to test the integrity of the blade specifically. And I'm glad I have this, and I have that, and I will have the camera from my PC monitoring everything, because I have to leave the room when I spin this up. It is set up at the vertical, so it's not just a forward-facing fan. It's strapped down on a bucket, and it's bigger than the bucket, a 5-gallon bucket, okay? So I have it kind of strapped down there because I'm testing the blade's integrity at specific voltages and specific speeds and specific throttle positions, and watching the amps live, so that I can take that information, put a video together for you guys, and then You'll see what amp draw I've got, how many volts that I'm pushing, and how much, what the RPMs are, and sort of calculate. This way we're able to kind of try to calculate thrust. I don't have a load sensor yet, but like I mentioned before, I'm putting together an aluminum extrusion setup that goes from the floor to the ceiling that these motors can clamp onto and carry their own batteries, ESCs, and everything. Plus, they'll have sort of pouches, I guess, on the side to carry extra weight that will mimic their portion of the actual drone body. And we're gonna see what throttle percentage I get for lift. I could do it with the load sensor, but the load sensor is just going to give me a static thrust measurement, and I want to see how this thing acts under load to getting to a hover position, and what it takes to maintain that hover with that load on the engine. And I will test that with the 3D printed blades, but I ultimately want to be able to CNC them. So I was looking at the Pocket NC and stuff like that, because they're a bit cheaper, a bit smaller form factor when it comes to CNC, or it's either that or I gotta sell a kidney to figure out who I'm gonna send it out to have it CNC'd. So and I already use Fusion, so I can just cam out from there. Oh look, it's Bank. I told you there'd be another one. Bank came in on the last one. I don't know what it is. I guess we consider him a troll. I'm not even sure. But he comes in and he does this. I tend to attract trolls back. I swear they're subbed to me so they can watch the videos. So, and I've had even a couple of trolls in the past, and I'm sure Ben feels the same way. That we're friendly with each other, even though he comes in and spouts off stuff like that, and I don't really care. Because he's just trolling, Hi, Ben. There's your attention. Or Bankhead, not Ben. That's what I meant. Here is your attention. Dopamine high for the rest of the evening. I have mentioned your name on the internet and recognized you. No, nobody likes that drug. And the ones that do probably are no longer with us. Evan, I'll tell you what, Evan, if you can weld when I get the shop finished, I'll need a welder. Someone who can weld aircraft grade aluminum tubing, Think of large type ship structural welding, but on an aluminum scale for aerospace. The robots do that. I'm not sure what that means, Karen, but okay. Good gaming. Welcome. We are chatting about whatever we want to chat about, including the the projects that you see on my channel page, or go through my playlists later on. You'll be able to see what those are. And if you're interested in this kind of content, then please join us. You can join the Discord, on Instagram, on Facebook, but I'm primarily on YouTube to try and make a platform where everyone can just look at what they want to look at on the site, but they can also come into the on my channel page, but they can come into the chat and they can talk about stuff. Just talk, respectively, of course, but you're always going to get people who jump in and, Evan, why do I gotta pay you to hang out with me? I can get a glass of bourbon out of the drawer. I can do this on my own, Oh, nobody's saying anything to Senka. Let them guess. Because some of you already know. And I know, Evan. I know. You're cool. You're good people. So Sanka, guess how old I am. Dawson, we know you are, and I have no idea why you're even in this stream. Hey Desert, how you doing? Nope. Haven't got it wrong. Bank got it wrong, but I'm sure that one was just an attempt at an insult. Evan's still wrong. You're about to be 40. About to be? Yeah. PXD knows, but he's not going to say. No, I'm not 30. But Dawson, you're my new favorite person. Evan, no. Close, though. How else would you get to know me? You remember the Philadelphia experiment? Start there. Bryson, no. Close, though. Bryson, you're close. Close. No. Nope, sorry. That's too high. Evan's got it. Evan got it. 49. Well, you guys like this one. You like this game. 49 years old. I'd like to thank everyone who guessed below that, because that's how I look to them. I'll take the younger side of it, the guessing. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. See, when I was younger, I could jump off the roof of a house, not hurt myself. Today, I get up in the morning and sneeze wrong, and my liver flies out. And then when I go to get it, my back goes out, and my knee locks up. But that's because I had a bullet hole through the knee, so it happens. I look 30. Well, Dawson, I appreciate that. Again, like I said, new best friend. $100s for Dawson. Yeah, but Evan, isn't it minimum wage? Like, what is minimum wage right now? Where you're at? You don't want me asking. Bank, we already knew you were going to say that. Go away. Or hang on if you want. You're cool. It's just fun to hear the sarcastic a-hole in the background just pop his head up, you know? Like grimace out of a garbage can. 65, old man. And then back down, you know? Bankhead, that's stupid. Quit saying that. I don't want to ban you for that, man. That's like a lethal substance that's harmed people, and I don't want to ban you because I think there's more to you than that. Teeny, you missed it. I'm 49. Austin, Bank, do you want to get banned? I don't want to ban you, dude. There's more to you than that. Tell us about yourself. I know you're getting the attention you want right now, but... Well, Evan, maybe I missed it. You may have said it, but what's the minimum wage? It's got to be more than what I was getting minimum wage. Damn. I wish I made 18 an hour when I was working. When I was working, I was making $4 an hour, I think. And then I went to the Army, and the rest is history. But I mean, I didn't have a job after that. Well, I do take that back. I did have one for a little while, working for a newspaper. Not as a journalist. I was an ad designer, which was funny because I messed up on one of the ads, and Home and Gardens had a caulking demonstration one time in the paper. And it's up to the ad rep to come up to me and see if there's any corrections that need to be made. And I hit the wrong key, and I cleared it with her. She said it looked good, so I went ahead and, the C looked like an O. So now Home and Garden had a caulking demonstration, which I'm sure they probably drew the wrong crowd, but at least they made some sales. So. Yeah, that ad rep was mad at me for that one. I think that was the first time that I had witnessed snow. Second time I'd witnessed snow in the valley. It was just crazy. For us, that's like a once, twice in a lifetime thing down the valley to get snow. But it was cool. It was cool. But everybody else on the East Coast is like, snow, we get that every day. It's like, yeah, but if you get an earthquake 2.0, you guys are running for the basement. Or out of your house or whatever. We get a 5, 6, we had a 6.0 yesterday. And not too far from here. And all that does is stir your coffee for you. We don't start to worry until it's like 8. 8.0 and above, maybe 7.5. So, yep. So yes, for some reason I've got another motor, which I can't explain. So I have a second one, and now I've got this. This thing is going to be so much fun. I don't even know how to use all of it at all. I'm going to have to, ironically, watch YouTube videos on it. Because now I've got this 13 black that we're going to be using for filming. Going to get that super slow-mo when I blow up a fan. It's going to be fun. And this thing is so cool. It's like the coolest tripod selfie stick thingy that I've ever seen in my entire life. That's going to be perfect for this. Because I'm always having to get at different heights for my videos. So yeah, that's going to be cool. And then this one, I guess, is for when you're in the water. It floats upside down in the water, and you just let it film while you do your video, like you're swimming around or whatever. I don't know. I don't have clear water around here close enough, and I'm sure as hell I'm not going to show you what it looks like at the bottom of a canal. Oh, those days of swimming in the canal are over. So, what else is everybody up to today? Evan, how come your workplace is so toxic? I'm curious. How is your boss gaslighting you? Just let it out. Talk. Tell me about it. Get it off your chest. All right. Yeah, if you guys don't want to see anything in this chat that's offensive, like Bank seems to be doing, then just block him. You know. I'm trying to find the good side of him, but he ain't giving up the ghost yet. There's a good side to him. Just gotta find it. But most of the time, they're all just wanting attention, you know? They want to say things online and be recognized for it, and it's like, you know, okay, fine, I'll say your name if that's what you want, but I'm not going to repeat what you say out there or answer a question like that, because it's, well, it's dumb. And, jokes should be in a little bit better taste, you know? Like your mom. So, yeah. I made a joke. It was funny. I liked it. How come no one's talking? Did I lose the chat? Did they like shut the chat down? Because if they did, then that's like Bank's fault. Because, yeah. Or I may have to refresh it. Hold on. So I can see what's going on. Oh, hold up. Wait, hold on. Oh, okay, here we go. Now I can see chat. No one was saying anything. I couldn't hear anything. Okay, now I can see what you were saying, Evan. Just hold on. Oh, look. George Washington came in with a word of wisdom, dumbass. Get out the chat. Come in here being stupid shit. Yeah. I'm not racist or anything like that, so we're just going to go ahead and take care of that right now. There you go. And then we'll block him. There we go. Y'all block whoever you need to. And if they start coming in and being offensive and stuff like that. There's some things I don't mind joking around about, but when you start trying to be, you know, a racist or racial or whatever, or bring race into it, then, yeah, I'm just going to shut you down. Like that. So, basically, there won't be any intelligible conversation with George Washington. They keep bending the bar. They keep bending the truth. Wiki, it's time for school. Okay. What if you're committed to the cause and you are truly racist? Well, how do you expect me to answer that? I mean, that's like saying, you know, if someone is a terrorist and they're committed to the cause, that I should somehow respect that? You know, no. It's ridiculous. My name is Captain Redbeard. I must have missed it because I had to refresh the chat. Evan, let me get there. Damn, 9-hour routes. The first meter, the last meter, they say the lines, like you don't record it. Oh, so they're basically just saying like you're not doing your job and they're not recording what you're supposed to be recording. And then of course they raise the bar once you do more. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. I see what you're talking about. So basically what they're doing to you is they're saying this is your quota. You go out and meet the quota, and you come back and they're like, well, you missed your quota because they changed it while you were freaking gone, or they don't believe the data you collected. So it's like, yeah. I mean, if they're being toxic like that, then I would just look for something better and just put in your notice. Don't just quit, though. Because it makes it look bad. You just walk out. Just put in notice. Say, look, I'm looking for something better just because, just I'm not comfortable with the fact that people are dropping stuff on my shoulders when they change rules in the middle of my shift. And then I got to deal with the aftermath afterwards because, if you're going to change something up, you need a memo. You need to, let us know during a meeting or something. Not just change it up and then go, oh, they're not working hard enough. That's not right. So. Lynn, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yes, everyone can talk about whatever they want, as long as they don't get into the whole racial thing, because I don't believe in any of that. You're all human beings. It doesn't matter where you're from. Let's see. Oh yeah, you were saying you're asking for a friend. If you're truly racist, then that's in line with sort of a narrow perception and preconception of other people. So you're going to automatically expect the bad from people who you have already deemed people who aren't worthy, as you say. So, not you specifically, if someone's a racist. And that's not how it works, man. I can make racial jokes with some of the people that I was in the service with because they think it's funny. Like I said before, I had my battle buddy in basic. His last name was Spanky, and he was deep south. He was dark. All right. I made jokes with him all the time. He thought I was cool. We were friends. And I said, you're not gonna let me do anything stupid. I'm not gonna leave you behind in the middle of a night mission as long as you and I'm not, as long as you promise not to smile. So we get out of there. And he would laugh at that because he knew I was cool. He knew I wasn't racist. He knew it was just funny as hell. Like the guy said in the reel, I had a complexion of an iPhone flashlight. And, he was from the South, so he was already used to the climate. And he's looking at me coming from California going to Georgia. And he's like, man, you are going to have to acclimate. And I had to acclimate big time. The heat was horrible, but the winters were cool. It was awesome when we had an ice storm. All the cars were frozen to the ground, literally frozen to the ground. They're having to knock the ice off so they can get the doors open and everything. Power lines covered in just icicles. Every single branch and leaf and berry on a tree, all covered in a 1/4 inch ice. It was crazy. Hi Zach, how you doing? Max, how you doing? Daryl, hello, how are you, sir? Yeah, Evan, what you gotta do in those situations is just go, look, if you're gonna change up the schedule, if you're gonna change up the quota, if you're gonna do anything like that, this needs to be in a memo first. And if that's not enough for them, if they don't like that, and they're saying, oh, well, if you can't handle it, we'll just let you go. It's we'll just say, hey, fine. I'll find something that suits me, and I'll put in my notice. They won't fire you because then they have to pay you unemployment. So you can pretty much tell them whatever you want to tell them. You either give us ample notice about quota changes. And if you're not meeting, if the boss ain't meeting their quota, if they're not getting the data they need, then that's their fault because they're not managing things correctly and telling you guys what you got to do before you even go out. That's not on your shoulders. You're just there to do the job you were trained to do, not pick up the slack of management. And if they don't like hearing that, say, hey, okay, fine. If you're unhappy with my performance because of the memos that you didn't give us or the notice that you didn't give us to complete the quota as you need it done, then whose shoulder is that going to fall on? They're going to have to pay unemployment if they let you go. Bottom line. So they ain't going to fire you because they got to pay for that. And you got grounds to stand on when it comes to coming against that. But don't let it get to you. You're the employee doing your job. It's not your fault they change it up and then they don't tell you. It's just that simple. Spider going into BC. Doing some fly out, Spider? Okay, go anywhere where there are a bunch of races and they'll group up by race. What do you think that is? I don't think it's racism, if that's the question. I think that's just it's human nature. It's like, I'm with my family, I'm going to hang out with my family. When I go out to eat, I ain't going to go hang out with somebody else's family. I don't know. Doesn't mean I don't like them. But I'm sitting at my table with my family. And they're sitting at theirs. They probably don't want to be disturbed. Fine, let them. I mean, I get it. No big deal. I'm not taking it personal. You don't want to hang out with me because I'm white. That's not my problem. That's the problem with your perception of me. And you don't even know me. So it's like, that sounds like a personal issue. And that's the problem with society, is most people have that personal issue. They don't want to hang out with people because they're not the same race. That's the dumbest damn thing in the world. Guess what? That person might be the only person that might be able to donate blood to you if something were to happen and you were in an accident. And then what are you going to say? You know? Kind of puts some perspective on it, doesn't it? About how we're actually all pretty much the same. And it's how you act that defines how you are. Spider, or an odd channel, I don't know what not in means. Oh, let's see. Turkey free chill, sorry, but I also like please don't hate Spider. Nobody's gonna hate Spider. Energy and vibration of the intent that craves the path. Okay. What do you mean by vibration of the intent? If you're talking about intent, or vibration of the intent, or the type of intent, whether it be good or bad, then I see where you're going. Intent is everything. I don't understand the frequency thing. Not to be insulting or anything, or say, like, I see a lot of the people talking about frequencies and things like that. And when you talk about frequencies with me, all I can think of is a freaking gyro frequency for a drone. I have seen those videos where guys supposedly opening a portal using like 2 different sounds. I'm thinking to myself, how does that work? Like I asked him, I said, okay, I'll bite. Explain it. Just because I knew it wasn't possible. You're not gonna rip through the fabric of space time and create a portal to somewhere. I mean, people watching it are like, the Palladians or some, like, I don't know. They come up with some, and then just one lady's doing like remote viewing, and then this other person's channeling a blue alien, and she starts chirping like a freaking squirrel, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? I'm like, it's like you're telling me a higher power alien entity is somehow channeling themselves directly through you, and all I can get is Alvin and the fucking Chipmunks. I mean, give me a break. And they all have shaved heads and stuff like that, and they're all so much makeup on, or they're like really pale skin, and they have blue eyes, and they say they're this and that and the other one, and they're like they're Palladian or channel. And the remote viewer one was funny because they made a comment on it. I keep getting likes on it. And she said she could remote view, and apparently she went to talk to a galactic federation at the center of the moon. Which was plenty of entertainment for me to watch. So I made the obvious comment. I said, look, I had to have a colonoscopy and an endoscopy, and I'm just curious on if you could remote view there so I don't have to go through that again. So remote view my colon. Tell me if everything's cool and if I have to go back, because they did the endoscopy and the colonoscopy at the same time, and I told the doctor before they put me out, I was like, can you make the cameras do selfies of each other while they're in there, since you're going in from the front and the back? And he didn't have a sense of humor, so he sort of thought it was funny, but like probably not. Spider, you're not an ass sometimes. It's most of the time, really, but we enjoy it. Frequency, I'm not sure of. The whole thing. Because, I mean, I understand how sound waves can affect molecules. I get that. But if you're talking about frequencies that are generated by the actual molecule, or by another force directed to the specific molecule for the purpose of a change or something else, then you're talking about biologics that we probably don't even understand yet. There's a lot that we don't understand. I mean, we think we do. Science is the observation of creation, nothing more. Finna, how you doing today? Oh, glory. Are you kidding me? Well, science uses the known, of course, to explore the unknown. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Because people like to say that, like from the Bible, they go, well, that's not real. I was like, well, why do you believe that? Oh, because of Darwin and science. I was like, you're going to tell me that this stuff that's been here for so long, that you are just now starting to basically witness, view, and understand to a degree, because you're never going to understand the why, but you might be able to observe the how. And then they go, oh, well, we believe in Darwin because Darwin said this. And it's like, well, why do you believe in a book that's supposed to be 2,000 years old and you can't confirm anything with the author or anything like that? Have you ever met anybody who wrote the Bible? I'm like, did you meet Darwin? Do you know personally? I mean, why take his word above that of the Bible just because? And I know why. It's because it's not the Bible. Darwin doesn't give you any moral grounds that you should obey. And that's the problem. The problem people have with the Bible is the fact that it gives them the constraints that they need to have morally, and they don't want that. It's more about the desires of the flesh. It's more about what they want, as opposed to what God might want for them. And that's to me is a big mistake. It's the wrong way to look at it. And people who are open enough to be objective and go, okay, I see what you're saying, and read it, take into consideration, that kind of thing. It's like, okay, fine. You don't want to believe that there's a God that created the universe, then where did it come from? And don't say the Big Bang, because the Big Bang isn't an answer. Okay? That was a theoretical cause of the universe. The result of something happening, which you can't explain. But science is never going to explain it, because there's light still traveling to us from galaxies that are so far out that we won't see them in our lifetime. So it's just, you're not going to explain it to me with it. It's Big Bang. What was the Big Bang? Science likes to theorize about it. Science likes to theorize and say, the whole universe was a bunch of hydrogen, and then it became, of course it was hydrogen. Most of the things in the universe are made of hydrogen. And pretty much the whole universe is made of hydrogen. Stars are hydrogen. Big balls of burning hydrogen. Actually, nuclear reactions happening, 700 million tons a second in our main sequence star, which is our sun. And that's converted into 692 million metric tons of helium every single second. It's not a big ball of lava or fire, it's hydrogen. And it's undergoing an immense nuclear reaction based on the mass of that hydrogen ball. And that's what's giving off heat. So the gamma rays are turned into light, sent out, and that's how we, get warmth and see during the day, and so on and so forth. And then eventually it will burn up all of its hydrogen, and it will expand into a red giant after it collapses in on itself, and then it'll start fusing helium. And then those helium fusions at a red giant stage will start creating the heavier elements, such as iron and carbon and things like that. Carbon first, because that'll pretty much be what starts the ball rolling on everything. Then you get all these different reactions. And at the end of it, you get a white dwarf that's basically just a solid ball of just matter. Solid matter, depending on how big the star was. And then, and then eventually it goes out. And it just goes cold. But this is billions of years from now. So, we're in the middle of main sequence. Sun is acting like it's throwing a little bit of a temper tantrum, but it's nowhere near going out, so don't worry about that. Speed of light and time travel might be real. Well, speed of light is real. I don't know about time travel though, and the reason why I say that is because you can only occupy a specific moment at every moment, and that moment is gone. Now, yes, time might dilate the faster you get to the speed of light, to the point where the gravitational influence on space-time that we have in our system, the solar system, gives us a specific time. You'll always perceive time in the same interval, according to your perception. And it could go faster, it could go slower. It's all based on the human consciousness. Watch pot never boils, that kind of thing. So you could go out close to the speed of light and then turn around and come back, and then hundreds of years could have passed on Earth. And the reason why is because you are underneath a different gravitational influence that affects how time passes for you in regard to your home planet. So you could basically go into the future, but you're not going back. It's just that simple. But this is even if you could get theoretically even close to the speed of light. Because there's been a lot of stuff that experiments that have been done that prove this. The closer that one timepiece is to Earth, and then one's in orbit, and then they check to see the differences in the time after a certain period of time, and they noticed that the one that was closer to the gravitational influence had run at a different rate of time than the one that was in orbit. So it does affect. So yeah, it can happen. I guess technically, if you want to look at that as time travel, you could, but you're not physically leaving your time and then going directly to another one. Right, yeah. Biber's on the right track. Yeah, he knows. I just think it's interesting how particles act once they're observed as opposed to how when they're not observed. That is interesting because that's when an electron can choose to go back in time and choose which slit in the paper to go through. You've seen the experiment, I'm sure. But once it's not observed, then you get that effect where you have the multiple light beams on the wall. But if you observe the electron before it goes through the two slits in the paper, then you'll be able to see where they strike the wall, and there'll only be two lines. Once you stop observing it, then it acts more like a wave than a particle. So, yeah. You can go on all day about that, but I don't want to bore everyone to death. What do you mean what happened? Dawson's gone. So for those who have been watching my channel for any period of time, if you watched the last short that I did, which was the 340 millimeter EDF, we're going to be filming that. I'll be filming that later. I got to get things set up and then program this thing. Find out what settings are going to be good for me, charge the batteries, that kind of thing, and get things going. Set it up on the Lonzy stick here, which is freaking cool. I like this thing. The tripod selfie stick. It's really neat. It's like a pain in the butt to open. Ugh. That's my only gripe. I could be doing it wrong though. So, and then you got the extension part here. This is really neat. I like this. Yeah, I like that. That's good quality. Durable. It's even got little rubber stoppers on it so it doesn't slide. See, it's better. So, you guys still having a good time, or are you bored of each other yet? Bright side, I got another motor. Everyone's like, do something, say something funny. I have another high torque motor that came, just like the one that's pushing that fan down. I can see how that'd be a little bit creepy. It's like, so Dawson, did you do that, man? Not calling you out or anything like that, but you know, that's what I'm hearing. Or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. No. Oh yeah. Oh glory, I swear. These lives wouldn't be the same without you. Oh my gosh. And as Dawson ages, he'll be like, I met my wife on Ancestry. That'll be an interesting day, I'm sure for him. Yeah, this is a fun place to be. Because you can just talk, chill, relax, check out the videos. Making progress though. Dill drone's going to be going back up again because we're printing parts again. Got the other half going right now. Support material. And then I'm going to do some reinforcement. Get this thing put back together so we can fly it. Because everybody's going to want to see the Dill drone fly again. Because right now, this motor's just hanging low, swinging in the wind. We're going to fix that. Don't worry, we'll take care of you grapes, young lass. Yes. Yes, yes. My wife always in the chat. I love that. I love that when my wife watches it. My wife watches my lives. Who else can say that, right? Supports all of my goals. Scolds me when I'm spinning up a really high RPM fan and I'm standing right next to it because I just want to watch. It was like when I was in basic training and I was doing the grenades and I threw the grenade over and then I'm like watching. And all of a sudden drill sergeant pulls me down. I'm like, what? I wanted to see. Yeah, you're good at that. But I think it's funny the frequency of trolls that come back to my lives, and the ones that have actually turned into people who respect me and want to watch me. That's what I think is funny. I think it's cool. You gotta try and find the humanity in people, even if they don't know where it is. Yeah, trolls are watchtowers too. That's true. You all mean something to me. Since my wife is online, I am out of cold drink. My beautiful wife. Could I have some soda and some ice? Maybe? Just maybe? Works every time. Hi, honey.
What do you want to drink?
Mountain Dew would be cool. Do we have a line?
I don't know. I can check.
As always, Je t'aime, mon chéri petit pigeon. Mwah. Yeah, it's good to have a wife that supports your insanity. Because I've got the whole garage converted into the shop just so I can build these things and make a large drone that I can ride. I'm just gonna have to convince her at one point with a couple of remote rides with like a crash test dummy on it that it'll be safe. And so I got to get it right because if I crash with a weighted crash test dummy on there, she's never gonna let me ride one. And one of these days, I'm showing up at my local grocery store on a turbine quad. See the reaction of everybody when I'm landing in my parking space. Be a little hard to get pulled over then. The only thing I have to worry about is going, you just stay below 400 feet. You're good. You're out of commercial airspace, and nobody's going to scramble any F-18s. But at that point, it'll be quad size, a little bit bigger than a quad, and it'll be running off of hydrogen fuel cell for the most part. So probably could do batteries, but the weight with that much power, depending on runtime that I'm looking for, it might be a little too much weight for the actual turbines. Unless, of course, I've got the CNC and everything's all CNC'd out, and I had planned on machining the actual shaft bearings out of tool steel, so we're looking at direct with grease, obviously, like in a regular bearing, but a direct contact shaft that runs perfectly.
Check the lid, but I think I got it.
Thank you, my dear. Ah, yes. Cole, what you up to, buddy? Come here. Come on. Come in. I'm not playing. You wanna go back in? Come here. It's my derpy little husky. Well, not little. Come here. Come. I'm not playing. You know what? I'm not playing. No. You chewed through an electrical cord. How'd that feel? I know how it feels. I've been electrocuted so many times. Just let him back in. He's can't make up his mind. Ugh. No problem, old glory. Handle your business. You're a professional, no friends, though. Platinum. I hope I said that right. The plane in the background is a 90mm EDF that I designed in Fusion 360. I'm still waiting for the ESC, and then we'll get her going. It's designed to land on water, take off from water, so it has upward and lower ducting and in combination with the front ducting. And we'll have a pitch and yaw. Oh gosh. I want to say aileron and elevator, but it's more of just a vectored thrusting system within the actual exit aperture. It allows it to pull the front of the craft out of the water on takeoff, and the duct from the top stops anything from getting waterlocked at the front of the intakes, and there's intakes at the bottom because it's DC driven, so it can handle the water, so that the engine can actually tread water to get up speed, and then it'll be more or less like a hydrofin underneath, so it'll come up out of the water, and then I can pull out of the water slow and get back into the air. So It's more of a experimental plane for water landings and takeoffs rather than pontoons, in a sense, like a pontoon craft with uh, a high wing configuration. It's more of a sort of a jet fighter style aircraft that can still go down on water and come back up again. What is going on in the chat? Who are you talking to? I hope it's not me. Brawl Stars forever. How you doing? Welcome. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Who's getting freaky? I already said when you asked me the question, I asked you the question back. I said Tarzan music. Who are you talking to? Or do you just want the name said because you want people to check out the? Because it sounds like you're into making music. No, my wife will handle the mods, especially when the chicks come in. Sorry, this meat's off the market. Why do you want to be a mod? I am a chick magnet? Well, I never would have thought of myself like that, but I got a beautiful wife out of it, so yeah. Yes, Dawson, she's very cute. One of the reasons why I married her. Why? What do you mean by that, Stacy? My dear? Stacy's my wife, so you're pretty much out of luck on that one for then. You got banned from your local movie theater for what kind of chaos do you have to cause at a movie theater to get banned? Stacy's my mod, my wife. Got a beautiful wife. And we have Norwegian blood. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I did the whole ancestry DNA thing. Okay. Aslaug Sigurdsdottir, the Queen of Denmark, was my 31st great grandmother, or 31st great grandmother, and of course that was the wife of Ragnar Lothbrok, my 31st great grandfather. So yeah. Oh. I'm a Viking. Glory is doing a good job. Glad you're back, Glory. Like that movie, The Troll Hunter, starring Old Glory. In a world of social media flooded with existential crisis rectangles, Old Glory is here to save the day. The Troll Hunter. Yeah, sometimes I do that. I'll have something, it'll be hours. I don't know. I mean, what's the normal stream time that people are doing? Because I'm committed. I didn't know people did. I thought people were supposed to do like 9-hour live streams. Isn't that the point? Or do they run out of stuff to talk about? Or because I've seen some weird like I took the red pill, and I went in and I was scrolling through the lives. I'm going. Sometimes there's people just sitting there, and then like somebody will pop up. All of a sudden they'll look at the screen. They'll be like, "Hey, do you want to watch me chug water?" I'm like, "What? No, I don't want to chug water. Stay hydrated, though. Congratulations." Ah, well, YouTube will get over it. Just tell them to attach some ads to it. They'll make their money back. I don't know how popular I'm going to get on this thing. I'm not looking for popularity for myself. I'm looking to kind of have these kind of chats where we can kick back, have fun, talk. But we can also talk about the projects. If you look at any of the playlists that I have for my projects, and if you have any questions, and eventually, and I'm so glad I got the GoPro 13, brand new, and this selfie stick tripod thingy, which looks like a lightsaber. Man, I wish I had a lightsaber. Maybe I'll make one. Like a real one. Not like a hacksmith lightsaber where it's just a jet of flame, but like, harness the power of the electron. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I want to do. I've got several different projects going at any given time, so that if I'm waiting for parts for one project, I can go to a different project. And if I happen to be waiting for a print, and I have everything for my other projects, or it's going to be a while before I get the rest of the stuff to build the body for the big drone, then I'll do the lives where we can just kind of kick back. And even if I'm just feel up to it, I want to do the lives because I want to talk to everybody and get to know you, and let them get to know me as not only a content creator or somebody who does these projects, but someone cool they can just talk to and get to know. And if I don't remember everybody's name, don't take it personal, because it's just the ADHD, So yeah. Actually, nicotine kills cancer cells. Doesn't mean that it's good for you. It just depends on how really that is taken. It's like anything that, like these supplements that they give you and all this other stuff, and mushroom coffees and blah 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 blah. I don't understand the mushroom coffees thing. I know that some mushrooms have properties that are good for you, but for me, it's weird. It's just weird. It's like weren't they just talking like a couple of months ago about fungal infections, viruses, and now all of a sudden they're like, oh, the mushroom coffee. We're like, something a little sketchy about this. You know, we remember Fauci, okay? We know what he did. And it's like now you're talking about like possible fungal infections, and now we have all these commercials that are all based on mushroom or fungi based home remedies or things like that. And I'm like, damn, people are falling for this. I'm going to be growing Pinellus icticus because I'm going to be experimenting with bioluminescence, and that's going to be a fun project off the side. Nothing to do with the drones or anything, but I just got a rack and table set up. I'm getting a humidifier for it and a tank and everything that I need, and then I have to get the spore. And the reason for that project is I'm going to take an orchid, which they usually, like the mycelium, will latch onto the bark of a tree. So their environment and their plant biology is fairly similar in that sense of how they get nutrients. So I'll be able to use the CASV, the CRISPR, not CRISPR-9 virus. Use the genetic manipulation, isolate the luciferites and whatever substrates that are inside the Pinellus icticus that causes the bioluminescence, impart it to the orchid, and then grow the orchid in the same controlled environment. But the process starts with getting the spore into its environment. Let the spore stay in its petri dish until you start to see mycelium, and then inoculate the hardwood substrate with the mycelium, and then you start growing the actual mycelium base until it fruits. And then when it fruits, you go to the root of that and you try to cut out the genes from that you need for the bioluminescence to take hold in the growth of the orchid. So it's going to be trial and error, obviously, like anything, but it'll be fun to have orchids that glow. I'm not a real biologist. I'm a YouTube biologist. There's a difference. But yeah, genetic manipulation is fun when it comes to plants and organisms, things like that. You also obviously have to be careful because you don't know if the plant is going to give off any kind of substance besides oxygen after you transfer the luciferite components and the substrates from the icticus. You don't know what you're going to get out of it, so you really have to monitor the air and see if it's giving off any kind of spores. You have to kind of swab it to make sure there's no contact transfer to any kind of fungi that might be dangerous to the environment. So there's going to be that. So it'll take swabs and then culture it in plate, keep it in the same environment. If it grows fungi in the plate off of the swab culture from the actual orchid after it starts to grow, then I know that it is touch transfer. It's producing spores as well as not only the light and oxygen that you would get out of normal photosynthesis. But if it starts producing spores, that in itself isn't necessarily dangerous. It just depends on how the spores interact with biological material in the body. So there'll be, I'll take a drop of my blood, put it on a petri dish, put the spore in with it and see how it interacts in its environment over time, what it does to the red blood cells, what it does to the white blood cells, and see if my immune system, within the short amount of time that the blood stays alive, is able to fight it off. To make sure that it doesn't produce any spores that would be dangerous to humans. That's the whole point. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. It'll be a controlled environment, so no worry there. Oh, glory. But no, well, just I say that a Holiday Inn Express. Who remembers that commercial? That tells me your age right there. Unless you already told me. I think you said what? Born in the '90s, somewhere around there. Maybe 2000s. Ah, that was close. 82. The decade of decades. Where everything was fun and nobody had to worry about kids in school carrying around gats. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just, we went outside, we didn't have the internet. Kids these days, when you say hang up the phone, they don't know what the hell you're talking about. And, you know, that familiar taste of the water from the hose out in the front yard, and that taste of copper in your mouth when you're drinking out of the hose. I miss those days. When I could go outside. Hey Matt, how you doing? It's when you could go outside and you could set off like an Estes model rocket in the street and nobody cared. You know? Now you've got homeowner associations. Your lawn's got to be perfect. I cannot wait. I hope and pray that I get a house somewhere one of these days. Not even the one I live in permanently, because I want to be on my own land, because I need a shop, you know, in order to build what I'm building in the end, which is going to be really interesting. You guys are going to love that. But if I was ever in a homeowner association situation, I would be the one that the people tried to kick out. Then they'd be like, you know, your plants need to be this and that. And it's like, you ain't going to tell me I'm buying it. I paid for this house. You're not telling me how I'm growing it on this property, or parking my car, or putting my garbage cans out, or whatever. I will put up Halloween decorations mid-Christmas and leave them there. Okay? Yeah, because those homeowner associations, they got all kinds of rules. Like, you can do that, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. I'm like, well, I bought the house, so, you know. I ain't messing around with that. Ain't nobody gonna come up and tell me how to do it. Like, oh, I like your property, but you have to do this and you have to do that. Because that's the community, the way we want to do things. It's like, you know what? It's a house. It's my house, not your house. You don't like what I'm doing? Don't look. You don't like what you're hearing? Don't listen. Name a car for an edit. Let's see. The Hellcat. Yeah, the UK doesn't have homeowner associations, but you can't even say shit on Facebook without going to jail. And no disrespect, but I think it's a bunch of, you know, they're kind of stepping on your rights. You know why they don't do that to us here? The Second Amendment. The First Amendment gives you the right to say whatever you want, and the second one is so that no one can tell you to shut up. God bless America. What was the Hellcat was an American answer? Of course it is. I've got a Hemi right now, but it was given to me. A guy gave me a 300C Chrysler, kind of a luxury sedan kind of thing, back in 2006. But it's got a Hemi in it. And if I could pop that traction control button out so it could be permanently off, I would. Because this thing has 22-inch rims with some wide-ass tires on, like 205s, I think. Or bigger, I can't remember. All I know is it'll rip. And I can drift around a corner in that thing like crazy. That's a big, heavy car. It'll drift. Which I drop my son off at work and drift out of the parking lot. His bosses are like, "What's going on?" I'm like just ripping out of the parking lot. It's just great. But it was early morning, no cars, and we're out in the suburb of suburbs, so I wasn't doing anything dangerous with other traffic on the road. I don't suggest it. I've seen people do those stupid things where they're like spinning out in the middle of an intersection with people hanging out of the car. It's like that's the dumbest possible situation you could put yourself in. And then I've seen how other cars coming the other way didn't expect it and would just slam right into them. But if you're burning out in the middle of an intersection, then and you hurt somebody, you're gonna have to live with that. And if you get hurt, you might not have to live very much longer after that. Just depends on what happens. You gotta find safe places to do that kind of stuff. You know? Kurdistan. Yeah, I know it. How you doing? How is Kurdistan this evening? And try like a bat out of hell everywhere I go. Yes, of course. You always have to drive like a bat out of hell. It's fun. Yeah, don't ride bumpers, dude. I was going down south. Okay, because yesterday I had to take my daughter down, my oldest daughter, for a fast event MRI, sort of an annual thing. It's about an hour and a half south of me, because she has a cavernoma in her right temporal lobe, and so she has to have an annual checkup. So I'm in the fast lane. I'm already doing 75, almost 80, and this Tesla comes up right on my ass. So I'm like, you know what? Fine, fuck it, 45 miles an hour. And I made sure that I was slowing down. I just let the car slow down naturally until he got pissed off and went around me. And then I sped up so that he couldn't get past the car that he was trying to pass on the right side of me in front of me. And I blocked him in. Wanna be a dick? Be a dick. You're gonna stay behind me in your fancy little Tesla. What's wrong? You gotta get home, plug it into your iPhone charger? You and your electric car. Probably a desperate dash to get to a charging station. I'm at 1%! This asshole's going 45 in the fast lane! Yeah. You're gonna ride me like that. You're getting... I'm slowing down. I don't care if everyone's doing 85 on the freeway. I'll be the only one doing 45 in the fast lane. Happened twice. Once on the way there, once on the way back. Not a Tesla the first time, but the first time was some stupid guy, obviously in a hurry, weaving in and out of traffic. Then you get the ones that cut all the way across from the fast lane all the way to the slow lane with no blinker. So he cuts in front of me to go all the way off to the other side of the freeway. What if someone's coming up from the right side on me and he doesn't even see it? He's gonna pit himself right off the freeway and cause an accident. Stupid. Idiots, some of these drivers. I mean, absolute fools. Then they go around and it's like like some of the towns, you'll hear them real loud mufflers and turbos and stuff like that. And the only reason why they do it is so they can press the clutch and hear the turbo decompress, so it doesn't blow your engine up. And it's all for the sound. It's not for the speed. It's just a status symbol. Hold on, Cole. Oh, yeah, I gotta let the husky out. Be right back. Come on, let's go. Go. Go, go, go. Like, what are you talking about, man? I'll take that. Old man. Everyone calls me old man. I'm just a little youngster, you know? Wait, the guy above my comment. Ah. Thank you for that, Lord. I appreciate it. But yeah, she's been healed. Yeah, seasoned, I would say. Seasoned. But yeah, she's God already healed her. You know, the hardest thing for me was having to go through that when it initially happened. You don't know what's going on with your daughter. She's young. She's having a seizure. You don't know why. You're holding her. Finally, it stops. She's breathing but unconscious. You don't know what's going to happen. I was down at the hospital with her for over a week. I think I ate like 5 times. I wouldn't leave her. She was unconscious most of the time. Hold on, Colt. I'll let you in. So yeah, it's not something I care to repeat. Every time I have to go back for an annual exam for her, it reminds me of all that. Go on. Vivian, you want to come out? Come on. Go outside. Yeah, it's just... I know she's healed, I just don't... I just remember the day. And I guess it's good that I continue to remember and relive it every time I go down there. Because it reminds me of what God did for her. That first initial seizure was the only one she ever had. But it was a significant brain bleed from the cavernoma. But now it's stable. As of yesterday, the doctor says it's rock solid and stable, and she has no issues. So that's just amazing to me. And you gotta give credit to God on that one. Because I told him, I said, look, you always pray for healing. But I'm the type of person that would say, look, if anything hurts my family, if any person were to hurt my family, I would split the earth in 2 to find you. And trust me, I wouldn't stop. So, that kind of thing's hard when it's kind of out of your hands. You know, if someone's like wanting to break into my house or something like that, or attack my family, then I'll just, I'll turn you into a straight up freaking puddle, and then someone's gonna have to come and mop you up. But when it's things like that happen, they're just out of your control. There's nothing you can do about it. So you're at the whim of fate, and she survived. And I'm grateful to God for that every single day. And now she's healed, and she's an energetic, very loud 15-year-old. So, yeah. And now I'm just, so grateful that she's okay, that I don't mind how loud she can be sometimes. She's like me, though. Hyperactive as a kid, like I was. Me, I'm outspoken, so it's like she's the same way. She's learned it from me. My girls, they were into stuff I was into as when they were babies. 2 and 3 years old, putting 5.56 rounds into the magazines for daddy. That kind of thing. And they loved it. They loved seeing the brass rounds and putting them in there, and then you teach them about safety as they get older. And if you ever see a weapon on the ground, don't touch it, no matter where it is. If you're on the range, always remember downrange, finger off the trigger until you intend to destroy the target. Always gun safety. Hold on, doggies, I'll let you in. Vivian, come on. Let's go. Colt, go. Oh gosh. The dogs are strong. Colt is my derpy husky, and Vivian my coyote husky. Discernment, I was told by my wife. It's not something I never really noticed myself. Discernment is kind of one of my gifts, I guess. Because I might not know all of you, but I see all of you. You're people to me, and not just text on a screen. That's why I like having these chats. I want people to come in, even if you don't like the content of my channel, just be here for the lives, you know, where we just talk. You're people. To most people who are doing live streams, you're just a name on a screen that somebody's hoping to get a view and a like out of. But you're people. I want to know you. You know? You're human beings. We're all in this together. You know? You go around the planet, you're going to end up back where you started. Even the flat earthers. You can't deny that one. If you follow the Arctic Wall all the way around, you'll come back to where you started. That's funny to me. Nice beard, white man. Why'd you have to throw that in there? Nice beard, white man. Why'd you say white man? Are you Native American? So am I. Montauk tribe. Cherokee Nation. Ah. Well, I mean, still human. I mean, I can. It's in the house. I'd have to pop in there really quick. I'll put on the phone and I'll show it to you in here in just a minute. The only other printer I have right now currently is just an Ender 3 sitting over there that I don't even use anymore. So, but I'm using an X1 Carbon from Bamboo Lab with the AMS, of course. And well, Clayton, welcome to the channel. I appreciate you being here. But yeah, the X1 Carbon is what I'm using from Bamboo Lab. And I'll show it in just a few. Because I have to go into the house to show it. It stays in the house because it's more temperature controlled than my shop. I'm still laughing at Glory. Like, he's not that guy. I don't want to be mean to the guy. You know? He might be able to help me with Windows later. I can't show my EDC on camera. I can show you part of my EDC. You know, not a bad knife. Operation Iraqi Freedom. Blade lock still works on this one too. You don't find a lot of them with blade lock working. That's part of it. Yeah, I can't really show it. I can sort of give you kind of an idea. But other than that, you know, we must be careful. Did I lock my phone just now? No, I didn't. Okay, I didn't lock it. Yay, I'm still here. Okay. So, yeah. That'd be cool, man. Oh yeah, when it comes to coffee. You know, it's funny, when I met her, she hated coffee. I got her into coffee. Oh yeah, and now I have to make it for her every morning. I make my wife coffee every morning, make sure it tastes the way she likes it. I make my coffee, and then we sit down and have our morning together. Bob? What is wrong with you, man? It's always Bob. Yeah, I can see that, Clayton. I mean, we are kind of on the other side, just about. Well, yeah. Well, you're a day ahead of us, too, right? Yeah. The same way when I was in Australia. The jet lag took a day to get over, but Jerry and Charlie, hi, how are you? Yes, it's a first world country. Did I miss a comment? I want to see that one. Oh. He doesn't make coffee right now. On your belts collect. What? My favorite plane or jet? Oh, I'm telling you right now. My favorite plane was a powered glider, the Super Sky Surfer, when they actually had it out. Now you can't find it anymore in the wingspan that I want. But I am dying to get that 3,000 millimeter FMS Fox powered glider. I want that one. That one sings like crazy. And then I want to get another jet, which I'm going to put the motors in myself instead of going with the. I want an SU-47 Burkhardt, I think, because I love the swept wing design for my jets, and that forward sweep just looks sick going through the air. I'm telling you. But I want that big glider, that FMS Fox. FMS, if you're watching, send me the Fox. I now have the equipment to adequately film the Fox really well. Because people who support me and love me just got me a brand new Hero 13 Black. I just got it today. It just delivered today, and it's really cool Ulanzi extendable tripod selfie stick thingy. So yeah, I can't wait to get started learning how to set these presets up. I use Adobe Premiere for most of my posts, but I've been stuck with an iPhone camera. So this is an exciting change for me now for the channel. It really is. Oh, glory, damn. He's just letting it out. Is he claiming that he's a narcissist? On purpose? Someone just pops up in the room and says, I'm a narcissist. Just pushes that door open. Hello, everyone. I'm full of myself and don't care about your opinions. You have to have a license to fly plane? Really? Dude, you need to come to the U.S. I don't have to have a license. I go down to the baseball field and fly wherever the hell I want to. You know, I went out my grandmother's property 20 feet from the road and launched a sugar rocket that went so far up I never saw it again. I don't know where it came down at, but luckily it was in the middle of almond orchards. You know, no harm, no foul. That sucks. You need a license. I mean, I know they started doing the whole drone license thing if you wanted to work and make money, but as a hobby, I don't think you need a license for it in the U.S. now. And even if they did say I needed a license to fly drones, I would tell them to go fuck themselves. Okay, we're going to build a new Merca. Oh, glory. I swear, man. You gotta watch it, man. When you come in here, if you're gonna troll, do anything like that, Old Glory's got him in the chamber, just ready to go. Above 500 grams. Oh, my battery packs for the drone weigh more than that. I feel for you on that one, Clayton. I really do. That's like taking something fun. It's kind of like California, in a sense. Anything that's fun and not harmful is illegal for some reason. I don't know why. Who does? Build. Who are you asking? Builds. You talking about Old Glory? Old Glory doesn't build bombs. That is illegal. Oh God! If they do a license for boomerangs, man, you gotta tell me, because I want to know. I don't know what. Hey, I am an innocent YouTuber. I promote a hobby that is clean and fun. I do experimental propulsion, and if anybody else is planning on doing something dumb with those ideas, that's on you, not me. Oh, Glory, come on, man. I'm at a point where I just want to have fun, make drones, and at the best, I want to at least get a good UFO sighting on the local news, because if you're running a drone with 340 millimeter EDF engines on it, and I've got lights, these Arduino lights that I made, these are really cool. I'm gonna put them all over the place on there. and just go up to my max altitude I can per FAA regulation, which is under commercial traffic, which is 400 feet. It's going to be up high enough for the townsfolk to see it, and someone's going to think they're getting abducted. I'll try to do it on a foggy morning and then put a huge spotlight on the bottom of it. That's what I want to do. That would be funny. That would be the most fun. Like watching my local news that evening and seeing my drone in the sky. And people going, someone's captured another UFO sighting. And I'm just gonna be like laughing, man. I'll record the whole thing because it'll be online. And I'll post it on my channel. But look, I saw it on the news. That'd be fun. Well, yeah, I mean, there's crop dusters, but I try to watch their schedule around here. I've been out here long enough to know when they're crop dusting, and I'm not gonna fly when they're out there because the field that I go to is surrounded by orchards. So, and I don't usually fly outside of that field because I don't go over people's orchards. Because of that, because if I don't know when somebody's crop dusting, I want to make sure that I'm not going to get my drone in the way. So, and I use a flight map to find out what air traffic is in the area, and try to keep up to date on wherever I'm going, so that when I do any experimental flights outside of town, I know my ceiling, I know what traffic there is, air traffic. I make sure there's no crop dusters up and about. That kind of thing, because I have an app that tells me when all this stuff's going on. No. If you're referring to the shirt, it says, "I am proud that I did not raise liberals." Yeah. Nope, not raising no liberals around here. And I didn't even have to seed that at all. All they had to see was Biden trying to give a speech. I mean, Biden's the one you want on your team for artificial gravity because he falls up the damn stairs. I haven't figured that one out myself. I even tried it. I mean, he went halfway up the damn stairs. Just fell straight up the stairs. I'm like, what's your secret, man? You need to take some weight off of these drones. No. But yeah, if somebody can't even get gravity right, I mean, yeah. But my kids didn't need me to tell them not to be liberal. All they have to do is look at the world. You know, it's a freaking clown show of septum piercings and purple hair, and you're assaulted by people who are running around acting like deer and cats and houseplants. And then they yell at you when you misgender them or misidentify them and stuff like that. And it's like, look, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but you're no more a cat than I am. And if you're going to sit here and proclaim that you are, then I'm going to call animal services. You'll have to tell your owner to go and get you after you've been neutered and spayed, or whatever it is, and get your shots. I get so sick of that, it's not even funny. You get people walking, I'll wear this shirt in public. I've got some that are even more offensive. And I wear them proud. Because ain't nobody gonna walk up on me and say anything. And, you know, it's just the way it is. I had one person threaten me with a weapon. I'm sure his family misses him. But people make mistakes, you know? But they lose their shit, man. Like, you bring out the proof, they lose their shit. If you can notice the Democrats, they're not even mad that there's so much corrupt spending. They're just mad that Elon Musk is finding it all. It's like they're more mad about Musk than they are the fact that all this tax money is disappearing. And then you kind of put two and two together and you go, well, the only people that are complaining are the ones that are now not receiving the kickbacks from the bullshit that the government was using as far as spending is concerned. And because who goes into Congress, you know, with those wages and comes out $64 million richer? I mean, give me a break. You already know what they're doing. They're taking your money. They're taxing you for your paycheck. They're taxing you for what you buy. They're taxing you for where you live. They're taxing you on property you already own over and over and over again. Then you got to pay a damn bank to hold the money. You got to pay their fees. You got to do everything. I was like, screw that shit. I'm not dealing with that. I'm on vet benefits. I serve my country. So your tax money that goes to me, you know, is going to support me because of the sacrifices that I made. I don't see any Democrats making any sacrifices. Do you? Except Diddy's in jail, so I guess most of those Democrats, like Adam Schiff and everybody else, and all those other disgusting pieces of shit, are gonna have to find their pizza somewhere else, huh? So, you know, I hate to be crass when I speak. I don't like cursing, but those Democrats piss me off. And the fact that he's gonna sit there, like, and just act like he's completely innocent. That's what pisses me off. Because you can look at the guy and go, you know what? You just look like you're full of shit. You just look like it. You know? And all the other Democrats out there, you know, that are just pissed off. Like Pocahontas, you know. She's like claiming I've got more Indian than that woman does. You know, but what does she say when somebody questions her? What do you think about Doge? Elon Musk is he's taking over the government. And it's like, oh yeah, he's totally taken over the government. He's only saved how many billions of dollars already? So what? You can't afford your summer home, you know, with our tax dollars. You're gonna have to live like the rest of us and work for a living. Bunch of dumbasses. It's a republic. It'll always be one. We have the power again, and we're not giving it up. They stole it from Kennedy. And Kennedy, that's funny. Kennedy was a Democrat, but he wasn't a socialist like the Democrats that we have. And they didn't like that. So you saw what happened. Totally on camera, they made sure of it. Same reason why CNN aired the rally in Pennsylvania where Trump was shot at. The only rally that CNN ever aired live of Trump during his campaign was the one he gets shot at? Makes you think. Wow. Sort of some comparisons there, right? As every three-letter agency enters the chat, right? Yeah, well, see, it goes to show you, Platt, that Elon's not in it for the money. He's in it for your money. Well, not yours, because you're you, but he's in it for our money coming back to us and not being spent on corrupt spending. Like, who's teaching Afghan women about modern art? You know, and why is that costing $100 million? Why are we sending condoms to Hezbollah? You know, They're not going to use. I mean, like they're going to use them. Like, oh no, we might as well be responsible. You know, I mean, come on. Nah, that's a bunch of shit. Krista, hi, how you doing? When people come in and they said hi, does that mean that they said it before and I missed it, or are they just saying it right then and there? I'm just curious because people come in and they said hi all the time, and I feel like they are telling me that I missed them saying it the first time, and that I feel bad. Like, I'm not trying to ignore you, it's just these damn screens are getting smaller and smaller, and the text is getting smaller and smaller. Oh, man. Krista, you went through the same thing? Okay, I get it. I understand about the high thing. So did you have so you had a brain bleed, or was it what was it caused by? Same thing with my daughter. Let me guess, you had one seizure and none after that. I could be wrong. It might be different for you. He comes in and says, my friends are awesome. Fair warning. I feel like I'm going to get a cut in a Harley when they show up. Oh, a seizure one time, and that's what set the whole thing in motion. And that after that, she hasn't had one since. But they've kept her on Keppra to be sure. But annually, I have to go down and we have to do the fast vent MRIs annually so they can check everything. Everything's good. This is rock solid. Doctor's exact words. Cavernoma is rock solid. Everything's good to go. In your chat section, plastic, what glue do you use? Well, I use CA platen, usually. A mix, usually. It just depends on the size of the print that if I have it sliced up in Bamboo Studio and it's a large airfoil, I'll use like a medium set CA glue, and then there's an activator that I use on the other side, push it together, and it's like instant. But if I need to reinforce that, I'll make sure that there's a port for a carbon fiber rod, just so I don't have to deal with strictly on layer line integrity on the print jobs when it comes to flexing of the airfoil. Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. I've seen that before. So yeah, I see what you're talking about. But yeah, plate and CA glue is the best way to go. You can get it in thin, medium, and thick. And then it comes with usually an activator spray. So you're not sitting there holding stuff together for 10 minutes, even if it's super glue. And it works great on foam, especially foam. Like if you have a foam plane and you've wrecked it or whatever and chipped a wing, I usually use CA, put it together, and it works great. If I lose a section of the wing for any reason, I learned how to. I would cut a piece of balsa and put it in that section, and then I would plane it and sand it to match the airfoil for any missing piece, and it worked out great as well. So then I would repair the planes if I lost control or a battery died or I hit something that take a chunk out of the wing or something. I got real good at fixing stuff with just chunks of balsa and then sanding them back down. So even foamies, So yeah, that's how I repair the planes. Now we're dealing with motors like this. Look at this. I'm going to show you the fan, but I'm going to take this motor out because for some reason I got a second one today and I don't know why. Blessings in disguise. Because these motors are expensive and I'm not sure why they sent me a second one. So this is the Flip Sky 7070. 60 horsepower motor. 75 volts. I am pushing only 48 volts through this motor. I want to set it over here. And then I'll show you the fan. And we're going to start with the fans, and I might not be able to see the chat. So, okay, you got 20 minutes to watch what I'm about to show you, Clayton, so hold on. I'm going to show you the smaller ones that I started with, and then I'm going to show you the big boy. Now these, I will unplug my phone. Hold on. That's the.
I wasn't finished.
Yes, we know you weren't finished. That's the wood ship I'm working on, the Black Pearl. Still got a lot of work to do on that. Everybody knows that one. That's the plane. She looks sweet. Can't wait to get her in the air. And hi, Deadpool. Good Deadpool. This is the 170 millimeter version that I drive with a 4-to-1 gear ratio. I gotta put it back together, but 4-to-1 gear ratio. Hey, one of my gears must be down here somewhere. Oh, it's right over here. There it is. Okay. Anyway, so it runs on the bearings, and then the motor sits here for the rear drive, and then I have a front drive system because I needed something that didn't have the motor hanging below it for the purposes of weight mitigation, so that I could turn the Cutlass Black that I'm printing, if you play Star Citizen, you know the Cutty Black, into an actual drone. So that's going to be a flying aircraft. So the size of the fans are basically, this is the Madonna one, 170 millimeter. And they work pretty well. Even PETG is really what you want to use. The PLA will explode after about 25,000 RPMs. Found that out the hard way. But that is nothing. That's nothing. The real big project, let's sneak over here. Hi, Ender. Hi, Jet. Is this one. Bigger than a 5-gallon bucket. 340 millimeters. And it's running the same motor. If I can show in there. I had to cut this bucket because I needed to do a vertical. Hold on. There it is. That's kind of a weird view. Oh, pardon me. So, yeah. This one books it. Haven't taken it up to full throttle yet. And I designed the hub, as you can see, to where each one of the blades slot into place. And it's friction fit. There's no glue on these blades whatsoever. And I've already had it up to almost half throttle. and the blade is completely balanced. I built an RPM sensor so that I could track my RPMs remotely through Arduino. And yeah, and then this will be attached to its body mounts and things like that, and it'll be kind of dressed up. It'll have carbon fiber for landing gear as far as feet go, but the point is there's going to be 4 of these motors pushing the drone that I'm going to be putting together. There's also a 6203, I think, bearing that's inside this forward hub, and that's to mitigate any wobble from the blade, because I am running on 4 bearings that are 40 bore, 52 outer diameter inside the main hub. And then there are rollers behind the hub that are skateboard bearings, that so if the fan pulls forward at all, it pushes against the stator on the hub and doesn't put too much torque on the actual motor bearings themselves, so that it can spin freely and still basically not pull on the bearings in the motor. So that was the whole point of the rollers. I can't really show them because they're kind of in the bucket, but yeah, that's it. She's a big one. When that drone's done, that's gonna be fun to fly, I'll tell you that. Over there is where I'm gonna do my mycelium. I've got everything set up over there. I'm in the laboratory. Hi, Deadpool. So yeah, basically this is the smaller version for RC craft. You might want to build like a jet or like an F-35. You can drop this in. It's front drive, 4-to-1 gear ratio, 30,000 RPMs. This PETG blade can handle it too. I'm not sure about the Creality PETG yet, but it's done very well on this blade, because this is all Creality PETG. So, but what I would like to do, what I would love to do, I don't work for you, Crane. What I'd like to do is basically do the entire drone out of the Bamboo Lab PETG, because it's really, really good. It's really rigid, bonds really well, and it's beautiful. So the entire body of this drone, which is probably going to be a good 4 feet, maybe 3.5, 4 feet by 4 feet, is going to be all, even the blades, even the casing, even the stator, all clear PETG. So they can take all of the Arduino lights that I have, because I have like just some sitting in here already. I'm going crazy with it. I'm going to be putting stuff like that together for it, because this thing is really cool. I designed this a long time ago when I was doing lamps and stuff for my kids. And this is a fun little lamp here. So if you have all of those kind of all over the drone, and then you have, it's all made out of the PETG, and you have different Arduino light cycles going, then that's just going to make it really freaking awesome in the air. So that's what I want to do. And then, of course, we are reprinting the Dill drone's broken parts, and we're going to get it back in the air, because that's offensive to most people who drive by and look at it. But I don't want to offend any one person. As you all know, I want to do it as a group. So not only do I have a second motor to do a second one, oh, I can't wait to do this. I got to get another ESC for it. During the test, the GoPro is going to go up there on the tripod. It'll be facing down here. I'm going to utilize the slow-mo footage on that, or the slow-mo ability and the high resolution, to get some really crisp, really cool video. And then I'm going to be filming down here so that we can get the amperage. So we'll have the volts, the amps that I'm pulling, the watts, the whole 9 yards. And then basically everything will be run by these two 70C discharge 22 milliamp 22.2s, and they're 2200 milliamps each, 4400 milliamps. And then I have one 800 14.8 that runs my external BEC for the receiver. So, and then I just control it with this cheap, Fly Sky, which has been really good. I do have a TX16S, but that's for the Dill drone and anything that I run with an ELRS controller. Oh, before I forget, there is a link. Oh, first off, I don't know if you left yet, but this is what I'm using right here, Clayton. And this is the activator right here. So that's good stuff for when you're putting stuff together. You can get yourself some bitter coffee for bitter people. Bitter coffee for bitter people. At the link in my page right now, if you use that link, you will get, I don't know if he's got the site up yet. I think he said yesterday something was down with it, but he might have it up. It's breakfastinbread.store. Get your cup, get your merch, get your coffee, and you get a discount if you use the link that I have on the page. I'll have to get a hold of him. His name's CJ and see if he's got a site. There was an issue with the site, but we'll see. We'll see what's going on with the site so you guys can get some good coffee. Oh, look, 64 millimeter EDFs. I wonder what I could use those for. We'll think of something. Dill drone 2.0. This is a prop, just so everybody knows. It's a glow-in-the-dark prop. No firing mechanism, ports, anything like that. So YouTube, calm down. It's a toy. That's why the toy has a plastic barrel and a plastic bullet and a plastic magazine and a plastic slide. And no way in the world you could ever turn this into an actual firearm. So I made it because it's glow in the dark and my kids wanted to, have something to practice their hold with. So I printed that up. But yeah, it's all non-functional, obviously. Anybody with a brain could put that together. But hell, these leftists, you know how they are. They can't even freaking take the rounds out of a Glock, on camera. But they'll probably be like, oh my gosh, he's printed again. It's like, well, if somebody prints a lightsaber, are you going to be scared of Darth Vader? It's just a prop. It's a toy. It's not even a real frame for a firearm. But I'm sure they'll get mad at it anyway. But I don't care. Free country.
Read Krista's comment.
Hold on, I just got back to the table.
I know, read it. It's exciting.
Okay, hold on. Which one? About the Dill drone? Oh, I'm actually converting a horse trailer into a mobile coffee shop. I'll have to have some bitter... Yeah, you gotta have some bitter coffee on there. Heck yeah. Just use my link in the bio, get that discount. Hey, and what else would be cool about it is he's even got merch, like aprons and stuff like that. A lot of Mother's Day stuff he said he's going to be dropping. So, it's cool. It's like high contrast colors, so people are going to be drawn to it. Yeah. Get that stuff on your coffee shop trailer. And you better bring that coffee shop trailer by here. Because I want some coffee too. So yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Use that link, get that discount. Get your merch, get your coffee. You won't regret it. Yeah, what time is it right now? It's almost 6 o'clock my time. What is it for you guys? I'm in California, unfortunately. I was born here. You know how you try to crawl out of a well and it doesn't really work? Have you ever fallen into a well? Tried to crawl out? That's what it's like to try to get out of this valley. I want some land up where like, Wyoming or something like that. Or, I want the plains and the trees and the snow-covered mountains, and I want it to be cold because I hate the heat. I've got Norwegian blood. Don't like the heat. It's 2 in England, and you know what? Leighton, you're a trooper. If you need to get some rest, I totally got. I understand. They wouldn't allow you to bring the trailer? Why wouldn't they allow you to bring the trailer? Twins survival outdoors 2.0. It's 3 a.m. my time. Whose time? I have Clayton's time. Have a nice day, Clayton. Get some rest. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate you. Coffee and our thoughts. 3 a.m. my time. Okay. I will look for it. So is this the like if I go to your channel page, is that where I subscribe to so I can see it? Because I want to get notified of it so I can check it out. Ugh, I don't like the heat in this friggin' state. Wasn't born for it. Yeah, send it to me. Send it to my email on the channel page. That way I don't lose it. Because if you put it in the post, I'm gonna forget. If you put it in I mean, you can put it in the chat if you want to for everybody else, but email me the link through the email in my channel page. Otherwise, I will completely lose it. I won't find it. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Horsepower Coffee. Wife of mine, subscribe to Horsepower Coffee immediately. That way you can share the page with me when I'm done with the live, and I'm looking at the door like he's standing there. Sorry. My brain does that sometimes. Everyone thinks I'm insane, but all of the voices in my head tend to disagree. Thank you, my dear. Yeah. Oh, I'll go to Washington for coffee. I don't care if you're on the freaking moon. If you got a good cup of coffee, I am on a spaceship and on my way. Yeah, I want to see that for sure. I'll be on that. I'll even put a link if you want on my channel page so people can go there and check it out. You know? I'll help spread the good news. Coffee. Who is this guy? Chrome plate cowboy. What does that say? Gravy seals meeting? That's funny. Where's the reaper? Sitting over there. I don't smoke it on camera. And realistically, it's more or less for sleep and pain because I'm a lightweight when it comes to that stuff. Because the doctor is like, yeah, you should use it because you have stress and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, fine. You know, it's totally fine. And hi, Krista. So basically, I smoke this stuff, but I can only do like less than a thumbnail worth of it, and I'm done. And everyone hates me for it because I'll buy like one little bag, like from the dispensary around here. I think it's 7 grams. It'll last me like the whole month. And I see people going like they're hanging out smoking like the whole, like they're getting like a whole bunch, and it's just for a weekend. I'm like, I would die if I tried to smoke that much. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm comfortably numb. That's what you're looking for when you're wanting to go to sleep and you have as many freaking, herniated discs as I do. And the knee pain and the hip pain. Ever since I took that round to the knee, it's like you had to walk different, it messes up your back. I have patella pain, like insane. My leg will just go out sometimes. I'm not even, expecting it, so I have to have a cane sometimes to. Now, I don't usually. I'll favor my left leg, but I'll when I'm at home, because if I fall, at least I know I can fall on one of the dogs or something. But when I'm out like in town or something like that, I'll have my cane with me just so I don't, fall. And at night, if I have, if I have to get up and I can't see it, I've actually taken this smoky quartz and I've drilled a hole through the center, and I've imparted it with a vial of tritium. So the stone glows at night, and I can see it pretty easy. And it will for the next 400 years. Because it's a radioactive isotope of hydrogen. Also known as tritium. JB, hi, how are you? I also did one, my wife had a big quartz. I think it was a rose quartz? I'm not sure. But I put 2 larger vials of tritium in that. And now that whole stone glows. It's like the size of the palm of your hand. And it's like the coolest thing. Like, what better nightlight than, glowing crystals that are glowing because of radioactive decay? Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah, if everyone is like new here, thank you for subbing to the channel. Appreciate it. Everybody, welcome, Christy. Hey. Welcome, Christy. So yeah, the ADHD thought train just went to another track. Where was I? Dang it! I lost it. It'll come back to me. Now the tritium night lights, those are fun. But I also like using Arduino to make my own lights using addressable NeoPixels to kind of make my own designs, print them out, and see how they diffuse through different translucent PETG and things like that. I made a couple lamps for my stepdaughters and stuff like that, and they like them. They're great. I try to make all kinds of stuff. I love creating things. But my passion is aviation. My passion is flight, because I promise you, I will break the Kármán line, and when I'm building. So I will be in space, and I will make the first Mach 1 RC aircraft, unless they've already done it. Then I'll make the second one. But when you're dealing with a 340 millimeter EDF that you can use with a drone, but you can still put in a plane, yeah, we're talking like F-104 style, straight body, just basically it's all engine, I do. And yes, this stream is fire. Thank you. I appreciate that. Steve, welcome. If I missed you and you haven't already been here, welcome again. So yeah, we're going to be running now that I've been gifted this wonderful Hero 13 Black and this awesome tripod. We are definitely going to be doing some slow motion filming, so it's going to get good. So if you can imagine, every single video, and I have well over 1,000 on this channel, has been done with an iPhone. It was time for an upgrade. So yeah, they're about to get spicy. Oh yeah. So if I do run this fan up and it does explode, because it's, like I said, friction fit blades, I'm getting some slow-mo footage, like 400 frame per second burst kind of explosions, okay? It's going to be awesome. I'm hoping it doesn't explode. Kind of defeat the purpose, but I really want to get that aluminum extrusion rig set up so I can test its weight on its lift, so it'll be set on rollers on those extrusions, and they'll go from the floor of the shop all the way to the ceiling, so this thing can run up and it'll carry its batteries and the receiver and the ESC all in just compartments that I put on the side of the fan housing for the purposes of testing the individual lift of each motor at a specific throttle. And that'll give me a good idea of where my hover is going to be on the throttle. I use SpeedyBee F405 wings for my flight controllers. I'll be using a Taro 480 amp power distribution board, which is set up for a hexacopter, but you can still run it as a quad, and that's even better because I'm not going to be pulling that many amps. With these bigger motors, it's great because I don't have to worry about pulling way too many amps, but it gives me that torque I need. And since the high end voltage of that motor is 75 and I'm only pushing 48, that means I still have a lot more overhead. So if I went with a 300 amp ESC that was an 18S pack or something like that, and I got close to the 75 volts, I could peak that motor out. But right now I'm just looking at an acceptable lift speed and where it lies on the throttle, because that's going to tell me how much overhead I have, and that's going to give me an idea of how I build out the body, and basically I'm going to need probably 10-12 rolls of clear PETG. But I'm going with the Bamboo Lab refills. They're a little bit more expensive on the PETG side, instead of like Amazon stuff or Creality. Creality's great because I did this whole fan out of Creality PETG. And I wish Creality knew that, because if they saw this thing spinning up, they'd probably be impressed with their PETG more than I am. But the Bamboo Lab has, I don't know, I feel like it bonds a little bit better. It prints smoother. There's not very many layer lines at all that you notice, if any, on a Bamboo Lab PETG. Especially just a straight clear PETG with no pigments, because it ensures proper bonding without any issues. The chamber is heated on the Bamboo Lab X1 carbon, so what I do is I allow the chamber to cool down by itself, and that anneals the print, relieving any stresses in the print, since I'm going to be putting it through stresses as I print each blade individually, and then the hub and everything else. So it's sort of like annealing metal in a sense, but you're using the heated chamber to do it. And it raises the strength of the overall turbine. And since I'm running a 22 blade high pass, you want as much flexibility and strength as you can get out of the material. Ultimately though, I would like to do this in aircraft grade aluminum. But that's going to require a CNC, and I think the only thing in my price range if I had a price range, would be the Pocket NC, because it's sort of a desktop 5-axis, and it would be perfect for this, especially with the size blades that I'm using. I honestly wish they would look at my channel and see that and go, hey, this would be the perfect example of how we could show people what this product can do, but they probably already have enough people doing that for them. I just don't have the $11,000 lying around to get it. And nobody wants to buy my kidneys. So, eventually I'll get one. I'll get one. Maybe someone will gift it to me like they did this. But that's kind of a big ask. But the chances are, if I have over 1,600, 1,700 subscribers, so if they all just went to the Buy Me a Coffee link and every single one of them bought me a coffee, I could probably pick up that CNC pretty quick. Then I'd share it with all of you. You'd be like, I need this printed out of metal. Can you do it for me? I'd be like, sure, no problem. You help me buy it. That's about sharing with the community. So if anyone supported me, I would basically be like, okay, well, you want this printed? You need like one of these? And you don't have a printer big enough for it? Send me the STL. I'll print it for you and send it back to you. Especially if you're supporting me. Even if you're not supporting me, even if you're just subscribed, that's supporting me. So, yeah, I mean, you got something you want printed, I'll be happy to do it for you as long as I got the filament on hand. That's how you build a community where we all work together. Clayton, we missed you. You can't sleep. Why can't you sleep? Why? Then you don't have to worry about it. No school. Oh man, I hope it wasn't my fault. I don't want to ruin like your attendance or anything. Hey, if I contributed to your day off, I am happy. Just take the day, reflect, relax. You know? We'll be doing some more stuff. We're going to be doing a lot more filming on not just shorts, because the shorts will be done. I can still do shorts videos with the GoPro, but then I got to go into post and edit. I usually like to do those kind of live almost, and just send them out as soon as I'm doing them out in the garage. But I don't got a problem with filming them on the GoPro so you guys can have some crisp, clear shorts. But I'm just gonna reset English. I'm going to start doing a lot of the longer run videos that are outside of the shorts. So videos, now that I have this, which will be a lot more fun to watch when I go out and crash a plane. Because I've been experimenting so much with some of these smaller planes that I had laying around, and every time I took one out, it was like, yay, it's flying! No, it's not. Gravity has won once again. Darn it! Like the P-51, the one I used to refer to as the big, beautiful lawn dart. But I did discover that the TPU for the AMS on the Bamboo Lab is rigid enough but flexible enough to be a propeller, and you can't freaking break it. Unless you're ramming it against an iron table and throttling it up, you're not going to break it. Because I broke that entire plane over at the field. Glued it together, taped it, threw it, went again, it just crashed again, you know. It never could get that thing to fly right because it was 800 millimeters and it just was tail heavy no matter what you did. But the prop was the only thing that survived. And it's because I printed another prop for it out of AMS TPU. TPU designed for the AMS. You don't have to have a Bamboo Lab printer to use it, but you can still print with it on any other printer. Just follow the print settings. You will not be disappointed with the Bamboo Lab TPU for the AMS, not regular TPU. It has to be for the AMS because it's more rigid. but that stuff rocks when it comes to making propellers because you're not breaking it. And the layer bonding on that stuff is incredible. I've made sprinkler systems with that TPU for my front yard. And because they're TPU, they give a little bit. So like when you're tightening them down to an old spout coming out of the ground for the garden, they don't break. And they're flexible. And they're impervious to, UV. So, because it's TPU, it's just a really good material to work with when you're talking about making maybe big rubber gaskets for something where you need to torque it down really hard. AMS TPU, I'm telling you, that's your answer. I think it's possible to power and scale 1/7/4 model. 10 centimeter, 4 inch. What model? You talking about like a 10 centimeters in length? Yeah, you could do it. And if you're talking about a single prop plane, they have small silver cylindrical motors. They're just brushed motors. The ESCs required are like 5 amps, somewhere around there. But yeah, you could do it and then use a button battery from, not a button battery, but like something the size of a battery that goes into like a Raycon earbud. That'd be all you would need. And you could make a small one fly. It'd definitely be an indoor. Oh, an A10? With like, they have little tiny, like 10 millimeter EDFs you could use. You can get those online. That'd be cool. Little tiny warthog flying around the house. You don't own a desktop PC? Most people don't anymore. Unless they're, designing stuff. A one-legged... What? What were you saying, dear? Hey, Martello, how you doing? Where's the one-legged duck? I missed something. Oh. As lost as a one-legged duck in a whirlpool. All I know is we're talking about 3D printers. A one-legged duck in a whirlpool. I'm actually trying to picture that. Hey, well, the great part about the Bamboo Lab printers are they're pretty user-friendly. I mean, you kind of have to know something about 3D printers if you end up having to change out an extruder or a hot end or something like that. But for the most part, the X1 Carbon is really good for, I'm just setting it up, I'm pulling my STL file into the Bamboo Studio, I'm putting it on the plates, I've got my filament loaded, it already knows what to do. You set your values, how thick you want the walls, how much infill you want, and you just hit print. No more bed leveling, nothing like that. It's all automatic. Uses a LiDAR scanner for the bed. It's a really good printer, especially if you want to be hands-off when it comes to the printer. And I love it for that. I really wish Bamboo Lab would send me their H2D, because apparently it's supposed to have a lot more to it that it can do, plus a bigger build volume, which might be helpful when you're doing 340 millimeter fans. But I'm guessing that I have to have a lot more subscribers before they'll look at me and go, look at this peasant asking for a free printer. you know, and that kind of thing. But I'm hoping that they look at my channel and go, let's send him the H2D. Look at what he's doing. He needs the H2D, and then I'm gonna and I'll put it through its paces. I will put it through its paces, and I will show everybody what this thing can do. And because I've done a lot with their X1 carbon. I mean, I'm way above 3,000 hours of print time. And I've only had to change the extruder a handful of times, 2-3 times. Not the extruder, the hot end. The extruder once, maybe twice. The hot end maybe 3 times. And usually that was voluntary because I was going from the 04 to try out the 02. And then I tried out the 06 and the 08 as far as the sizes go on the hot ends. And I love printing big models with the 06 using PETG carbon fiber because it comes out with no layer lines that you can speak of. I mean, it's like beautiful stuff. And let's see. It always depends on the. I'm trying to see if I can show you something here. I can get it off the table. It always depends on the orientation of the model when it comes to layer lines about whether or not they show up. Come on. There we go. Okay. Get off the table. Be right back. Oh, there we go. So this, a little scuffed up because of the shop, but this was done with PETG carbon fiber. And if you look, you can almost see absolutely no layer lines in this thing. This is a cup holder that, obviously it's a cup holder. I put clear PETG insert into it. As to hold my coffee on the side of the table when, that way I can accidentally get stuff into it while I'm drinking coffee. But yeah, it comes out really clean when you're printing with the PETG carbon fiber. It just really does. It's a great material. That and the hold on. And the TPU. I think personally that Bamboo Lab owes me an apology for even making ASA Aero. Their PLA Aero is fine for lightweight printing, but the ASA, biggest headache in the world. Did everybody see the thumbnail that I got put up for this live? That picture is so funny. The one before it, yesterday, I'm like in a Superman costume. AI did all of that, and all I did was give him a picture of me and explain what I wanted. So, they get pretty accurate when it comes to my face. That it's just a funny. I've got like Mjolnir in my hands, but it's got a turbine in it, and I'm like flying through the air. It even kept my gray shirt on that I had in the picture, because I showed it a picture of me, and then I was like, use my likeness and then make this thumbnail in this way, and it literally like always has my gray shirt because I always have the gray shirt on in the picture, and my beard's a little bit shorter, and I had a different pair of glasses on with a black frame. Or a top frame, and it always puts that on there. But they're the coolest. They're the coolest images I think that I've ever seen, and I think they're the best for the lives, because it kind of shows, what I'm doing. We're just chatting, hanging out, having a good time, but it's all about the project. So you got the turbine in there, and me flying. So there's a lot of that you can read into it. The picture, it kind of shows what I'm into. We have a grinder for the nails. Should I keep this grinder or buy a normal one? You have to grind plastic. Are you talking about extruding or making your own filament? Grinder for the nails. I can't see the little symbol next to that because it's too small. To remove nails, you mean? Like a grinder? Did you just pull nails with a hammer? Oh, grind material. Well, can you grind? That's a question to grind plastic. I have a grinder for the nails. It does kind of. Okay, I see what you're saying. Oh, human nails. Well, see, that's the thing with my nails. They're not human. So I have to use wire cutters. And it's because mine grow out and then they curl in and they grow down. So I end up getting talons. So if I don't cut them back, then they will continue to grow out and then curl in, and I'll have a talon. They're deadly, my toenails. And when I have to cut them, I have to use heavy-duty wire cutters. And because I used to use flush cuts, like the smaller. Where are they? Rotator cuff. Rotator's been out for a while. I used these before, just these wire cutters, these smaller ones, but I broke them. Like my toenail broke them. This is the second pair, but I use it for the shop, not my toenails. I usually have to use the big wire cutters, like the stuff you cut 8-gauge wire with, because my nails are extremely strong. And I don't know why, and they just. You have to, and then I use a Dremel, one of the high-powered Dremels with a grinding stone, and then that's how I'll kind of smooth them back out at tips, So yeah. All I know is that if I let them keep growing, I could probably scale a tree with them. I wouldn't need those spikes that the people wear who climb the poles to fix, like the ones who cut trees down, but they climb the poles, and they have the spikes that they add to their shoes. I wouldn't even need that. I just have to go barefoot, just jam my feet into the tree all the way up. What are you talking about, Glory? Oh, imagine being able to say, okay. Oh, that'd be cool, actually. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. That would keep me engaged more in the book, because I like the art on comics, but by the time I get to the end of it, I have no idea what anybody said because I wasn't reading anything. I was looking at the pictures. Yeah, that would be cool. Oh. 6:32 for me here. Almost time for dinner. Sure, I'll be called in shortly. And then I have some programming to do to get this preset set up and some battery charging to do so that I can get this thing ready to give you some really good video of spinning up that really big fan that I got up there. And that's my biggest fan. What a cheesy pun, right? But yeah, that's what we're doing. So I think what we'll do here, let me see where we're at. Salute the flag. All right. Yeah. So yes, we're about ready to. I think we're probably going to wrap it up here for today. But I'm going to get the GoPro set up, and then we're going to get ready to spin this thing up and get some really good video of it. The phone I'm on now will be filming this part, and in post I will go into Premiere and I'll make sure that the RPMs and the amps, everything that's going on here is at the bottom right of the screen, so you can see what's going on while this is spinning up. So it's going to give you not only what's happening on the spin up, but it's going to give you the data that's going on here. And that's good for me because I need that for the data collection. And that's what we're going to do. And you can see how I've got this thing literally screwed down to the table with straps, because I thought the table was going to take off last time. And then, yes, our Dill drone shall live again. We're going to do it again. So everyone be watching that, 'cause that one's going to be fun. That one's fun to fly. Very stable, except when the battery dies without warning. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Next will be that spin up. And I am not going to be in the room for it. Basically, I take my PC camera and I put it up here so I can monitor things from inside on my PC, which is on the other side of this wall. And that will keep me from being completely decimated by 22 blades if this happens to come apart at a high RPM. So, because I've had that happen before. I've had one of these engines blew up before, this size, and I had my hand on it like this, and I spun it up, and the blade just blew up and went everywhere. And watch out, Deadpool. This was the one that blew up. And I was so lucky that the outer casing caught all those blades for the most part. None of them really hit me. Not enough to hurt, anyway. Still Deadpool. Good Deadpool. Day. All right. And who doesn't like the blue cobalt glass, right? I'm gonna do something with Arduino with that. That'll be cool. Did my own logo. I want to do a neon sign next. That's what I need, right? But yeah, other than that, I thank you all for being here today. Be prepared to see that coming up soon after I figure out the camera. And then eventually we're going to be outdoors trying to fly something, whether it be the drone or the plane first. I don't know what's going to come first. So many projects on the table. So yeah, it's going to be fun. So, but I appreciate everyone who stopped by. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure you do. Share it with all your friends. Force them to watch me. And then, you know, hey, get ready for the next coming content, because it's gonna be awesome. And one of these days, when I do a drone flight outdoors, if I'm not doing it on that camera, which I don't see myself not, I'm probably going to use that camera a lot. We'll do it live. We'll do it live and see what happens. But what I want is to build it, like I said, build this whole thing out, make it all clear, PETG, the entire thing. Put a whole bunch of Arduino lights in it, and see if I can get myself as a UFO on the news. That's going to be fun. So that's the plan. Again, everyone here at DPC, we thank you so much for joining us and hope to see you next time. You've all been wonderful. I love you all, and I will see you again next time. Have a good evening and good night.